Hello, folks, it's me, Zazper KQ Squirrel Moggington. Just getting my face on. Getting my, Getting my assorted posts out. I have a doctor's appointment at stupid fucking early o'clock tomorrow. So, that's gonna be a pain. Man, I am so glad Lacrimosa don't exist. If it did not exist, somebody would have to invent it. And I'm sure they wouldn't do nearly as good a job as Falcom. Hello, Silver. It's good to see you back. Having a doctor's appointment at stupid early o'clock means I may call I may call things off after finishing Pyre. In my infinite wisdom, in my absolute infinite wisdom, I do not actually have a game lined up for afterwards. So, either I can fumble around and figure one out, or I can go ahead and trio the... Now, you mean trio the punch, not trio the fist. Also, no. Ham. As I quietly choke to death. Pour myself some more water, because apparently I need it if I'm coughing like that. That wasn't quiet. Well, yeah, I guess not. But... Well... Anyway, Pyre's been a hell of a game so far. I'm really glad to have gotten through it finally. I kept looking at it and thinking both, like, A, that looks like really cool world building and character design, but obviously I'm gonna be no good at sports entertainment. And it turns out, I'm half decent at the sports part, mostly. Well, now I'm sure there's people who can run rings around me. You know, like, I'm sure people can run rings around me in, like, versus mode or whatever. But I feel like I'm good enough to get through the game. Lost twice. One of them was against, like, Oralek, who was really clearly meant to be kind of OP. And one, I just did not get lucky. And that happened. Ooh, sorry, nope. Nope, goodbye. Goodbye, Miss Vocals. Hello, video game. I'm gonna bring you guys over here. I'm gonna bring you guys down here. I said down here. Yeah, there we go. How things would have changed at all if I had won that match. I know for a fact that you can lose every single match in the entire game. And, oh, if I had won that match, right. I know that you can lose every match in the entire game and the game goes on. I'm sure you can win every match in the entire game and the game goes on. I have no idea what will happen, though. Probably wouldn't change that much, but... yeah. Let's get back to it. Oh, both joysticks work. I'm still making discoveries. If I'd gone off and had one of the scribes assassinated, that would be hard. I think they're all dead. Can we... not that. Can we talk to Sandra at all yet? No. I feel like I gotta get Volfred to the point where she wants to see him, because I really want to talk to her again. Alright, I don't remember where we're going. Fortunately, we have a little arrow marker. Is this louder than usual? Okay, maybe it's just me. Volfred notes a powerful talisman is buried here. The 8 scribes shall bless you here. A more restful current. Hadn't noticed the music before. Yeah, this is really, this is schmoovin'. Gaze upon the depths. You find Faye gazing down into the depths. The water is so very beautiful, and yet it's very dangerous? They always said it's very dangerous if you fall in or drink enough of it. But the scribes, they have protected us and they are watching, I just know. Even out here in the waters of Under King Oris, they urge us on. I feel it, I just know. There is no denying that the North Current sends you quickly on your way. Perhaps it is the thought of reaching land again, but you can sense a spring in everyone's step. Quickness. Nice, good blessing. Good, mentor a companion. I want to mentor Volfred. I really believe she was actually communicating with the scribes. There's no way to tell, and I love that. Like, they're not giving you a concrete answer. And I don't think they should. The rites demand we act as one mind, in perfect unison and harmony and free of any doubt. I have grown more accustomed to being a part of the Nightwings of today. When using his shield ability, Volfred shields allies as well. Yeah. As we traverse lives, many unexpected challenges. So must we cover a variety of terrain along our quest. Alright.
You are nothing, reader.
I'll fuck off.
Nothing but a mindless cripple. Your every action is a stain upon the legacy of the 8 scribes. The rites have been a long-held secret to keep out those such as you.
You awake from what little sleep you managed this past night. Once more, the voice tormented you within your dreams. You attempt to rid your memory of it. If the voice truly is that of the Archjustice Androbulus The 11th? No, the 9th. 9th. Himself, as Volfred indicated, then none of you are likely to receive too warm a welcome should you regain your freedom. A messenger imp somehow tracks you down in the undulating waves of the Sea of Solace, and delivers to you recent news and rumors from the other side. Specifically, the imp shares detail regarding Tamitha, and what became of her since she was liberated at the fall of Solium. She found herself back in the homeland of her enemies, where despite her connection to the Highwing remnants, her past transgressions were forgiven. In fact, she was asked to join the military council given her unique background, yet she refused to cooperate and instead demanded to be reunited with her sister, Tamitha. But when they threatened her with a resentencing to exile and insisted she take the opportunity, Tamitha at last said she would think it over and return with a decision soon. Next she was seen, however, was among Volfred's sons and daughters of the Revolution, where it is said she has attached her loyalty, at least for the time. That is exactly what I expected to happen. You thank the imp for bringing you this news, which soon gets your companions talking. I hold to hope that both the Thayan sisters shall one day join together as part of our good cause. The two of them can help lead us toward a brighter future. I wonder where her sister is right now. I'm sure she cares for Tamitha, I'm sure of it. Karun! So wishes for Tamitha to find her way and her sister in the Commonwealth. Seems to me the little bird is no more free now than when she was here. Little bored. Yeah, the little bored. I can words. We suspect the ancient enmity between the winged and the flightless shall not soon be resolved, if ever at all. Never once before had this night felt even a thing for our most bitter enemies. And yet, having known Tamitha proved eye-opening indeed for this night. In spite of some mixed feelings, the news of Tamitha's liberation fills you and your fellow exiles with determination. No, with resolve. Good luck, Pam. Whatever the hell happens out there. Her and her sister are gonna end up fighting to the death or something, I know it. Sandra, you wanna see Volfred? No? Once more you have returned to the Hulk of Horus, and your companions stand ready beneath a stone night sky, awaiting the commencement of the rites. You overhear some of their words to each other as you await the signal in the stars. The accusers should be here any moment now. Ah! Etho is trying to get Volfred to look up at the stars. Just then you observe a glint of starlight that begins to shine above, and your companions soon fall silent. Ah! I feel like the Titan stars have either eaten or choked out the normal stars. And that's why they're not showing up anymore. That feels really ominous. Really ominous.
Rita, I am still very cross with you, you know.
Fuck yourself.
To think I saw in you a worthy heir. Not just to the legacy of the Nightwings, but to the future of the Commonwealth. That traitor Volfred. Only a fool would be seduced by his audacious promises and his dangerous ideas. That, dear reader, would make you a fool. I have no choice but to explain it thus, so even you could understand. Now for this blasted rite. Some of us still have our duties to uphold. So.
Imagine you went to, like, a Major League Baseball game, and the announcer had audible beef with one of the pitchers or something. Just constantly shit-talking him. That's how it kind of feels. Ew. We are ready for you, Nightwings. That's real base. Come, accusers, let us crush them and be done here quickly. God, okay, I didn't realize.
Now, your band of traitors.
Oh God, go fuck yourself, dude. It's actually funny now. Everyone is constantly yelling shit. Wow. Alright, I'm going with, I'm gonna stick with this. Yeah. Sir Gilman jumps further. Yeah, alright. I guess I'm gonna front with Tizo.
Tizo. Sir Gilman. Faye.
Shiru-sama?
Fine.
Okay, I think I am ready. You know, if too many more rights happen, we're not gonna have enough of a team to field. Come then, Nightwings, we are prepared for you.
Begin. 'Tis taken. In honor of the scribes. There.
Whoa! I kind of imagine you would basically have, like, the moveset of Faye.
All three Nightwings.
Just that super long jump that they have. I don't know what I was doing there. I was trying to keep the ball away from them, and then I realized, wait a minute.
Oh, so close.
Right, Aura.
Faye plunged into the pyre.
I should have just thrown it, I think.
Disaster.
Yeah. We might lose this. I'm not sure if we're gonna lose this. Nightwings, this ends here and now.
That Lendl yearns to regain his status in the Commonwealth. Would you deny him that? How utterly brazen.
I mean, I'm constantly denying people everything. Whoop. Oh, come on, really? Okay.
Contempt. Lendl plunged into your pyre.
Yeah, I think I'm losing this one. Oh, well.
How fine. Banished, one and all. Remember everything which you hold dear. Oh. Tizo banished. Their flame has died a little. And it is
Oh, well.
the accusers prevail.
That's a shame,
The
but...
scribes would not have had it otherwise. Perhaps your fortune shall be better next time.
You lowlife Nightwings, may you savor every taste of the bitter defeat we prepared for you this eve. Or are you a chef now? And know that this was only the beginning, for I trust we shall soon meet atop Mount Elodial. Then may I be rid of you at last, and rid of this damn place besides. Yeah. Tizo has nothing kind to screech when it comes to your adversary, Lendl. 'Tis we who ought to be angry with the outcome of this eve, rather than our ill-tempered opponent.
There is much to learn from this experience. And where once stood an imp, now stands a master of the rites.
A hidden power. A terrible, unbridled fury seems to have awakened within Tizo. All in all, he seems very enthusiastic about it. Oh, good. He's obtained ultimate power, and he's loving it. Implodability can banish adversaries in a much wider area. If banished, Tizo drops a moon sign. Allies can instantly transport to from their pyre. Oh, that's maybe useful, actually.
Praise be to Ha'ub the Swallow. I eagerly await our next such outing.
That proves little time for rest at the Black Wagon, after your fellow exiles failed to prevail over the accusers in the Celestial contest. Those afflicted with banishment sickness seem to be doing better at least, and express gratitude to Tizo, Sir Gilman, and Faye for their efforts. Just then the lone minstrel appears before you. No words escape his lips. You can guess full well what he has come to indicate to you, and follow him back out into the darkness. The stars above seem to be few and fading, yet one still shines, defiant. So I guess this will be the end game. I guess we're fighting the accusers. It's not who I would have gone with. But yeah, an ill omen which engulfs the star of the black saddle. An ill omen which engulfs the star of the silver spear. They're eating the stars. That fucking worries me. You notice the lone minstrel is standing there with you regarding the night sky. The Gate Guardian and I, we have paid witness to liberation rites upon the fall of Sullium for a long time. We have seen so much. One thing I noticed, while reviewing the BOD the other night, Silver noticed that it is Tariq and Celeste who sing the Never to Return Rites song. I noticed that they stand on the right and left, and the male vocals come from the left and the female vocals come from the right, which is where they're positioned. If you've got good audio separation, anyway. I think that's cool. It's a nice detail. And so I am a bit taken aback, is all, to see something which I have never seen. You look upon the stars together for a while, then... I wish for you good fortune and the wisdom of the scribes on your ascent. The lone minstrel leaves you there alone under the night. It has grown very late and you need rest. The Black Wagon shall have to take flight again come morning. We're gonna wrap this up fast. I guess I'm not gonna have a chance to train Wolfred. Not unless... when we get up to the mountain, I have one last chance to train. Moonlight Alcove, lit up. Wolfred approaches as you fly above his hidden lair at the Moonlight Alcove. You cannot help but wonder if you shall ever return there. I am just gonna adjust the chat box a little so I can see it around us. There we go. Our dear alcove, I've asked my agents to break down the place. It soon shall be gone if it isn't already. We shall not be returning. We've not the time to do so anyway, and with Oralek back among the living now and no longer fond of me, I dare not think what he would do with it. Unfortunately, hiding places are of little value once they're found. Once all this is over, those of us who do not manage to return, we shall have to find another place to live, to try to live at least. Tizo will gain favor with the scribes. Jodario will gain favor with the scribes. I think it's Tizo. I've been trying to decide if I'm gonna send Gilman or Tizo next. I'm angling towards Gilman, but having Tizo get a boost can't hurt. Something appears different now about the sacred mountain west of here. The lands near Emperor's Ascent and Emperor's Fall appear ashen. On the other hand, the once precarious regions below, which you know is Temple High Road and Temple Cistern, seem swept clean by the elements. The lone minstrel observes all this alongside you. Inclement weather we have lately seen, Rita, madam. We ought to be able to make landing closer to Scribe's Gate now. Suppose this means we shall soon see Celeste once more. I should go tell everyone to prepare for landing. You arrive once more among the solemn beauty of Mount Elodio. It appears that Lendl and the accusers have already arrived along the other route. Oh, I am gonna get to train Volfred. Okay. There you are again, my lovely reader. How may I be of service? Please, reader, leave me be. I asked that you leave me be. Go about your business. Go watch the stars die out and get your idiots their freedom. And you be sure to tell that herald with whom you consort that Sandra the Unseeing did her job. You tell him that. Perhaps that way you shall put in a good word, and the scribe shall finally provide for me a bit of reprise. She falls silent for a time. I do not know what else to do, reader. But you remain with her, letting her draw whatever strength and comfort from your thoughts as you are able to afford. That was kind of you. Let us conduct our business. I care not for your pity. Do not come visit me again like this without my asking. I insist. Alright. It's not like we're gonna be able to. That fancy talking sap, you mean? I shall be interested to see if he's learned something since last we sparred like this. Let us bring him forth. So it is my turn then, is it? Well, let us see what we can do, my girl. I have no idea if I'm ever going to use Volfred for real. It would seem we're running out of time to do so I guess no. Sandra appears and unfastens her mask. Listen well, sap, you answer to me here. As you will, O Sandra the Unseeing. Proper as ever, then. But I wonder if you have the wherewithal you project. Show me, then, what you can do without the benefit of those you would lead. Let us see if you and your lovely reader reach a thorough understanding as of yet. I dodged, damn it! Using Volfred feels nigh impossible. Alright, that worked. I really thought they would just walk into it again, you know? I really thought that was what was gonna happen. Instead, I walked into it. Go, go, go! Made it. Firefox froze completely when you tried to open your downloads window. I've been experiencing a fair few freezes myself, usually, trying to deal with YouTube. There we go. I am grateful for the privilege of your time, good Sandra. Flattery should never get you anywhere with me, sap. Nonetheless, your performance was sufficient and you passed my test. Congratulations are in order to you and your lovely reader. Now farewell. But yeah, Firefox has been freezing for me a lot in YouTube. I'm not so much with the downloads, but I don't open the download window often. Maybe it would. I had not seen that Sandra in some time. She has not changed a bit. But it would seem she left something for us, did she? His blink ability transports him further than usual. Okay. Can I not? No. Alright. With some time to spare after having landed, you joined Tizo on a brief expedition to the monument of Molten Milthay. Greetings to you once again, great-grandfather. You should know I often think of you, more often these days even than before. The friends whom I now serve, I think they could use your help if you're willing to impart it. You know I do not like to ask you favors, but I think this is important. You return to the wagon once he has finished paying his respects. Give occasion once more to pursue your vocations. I'm just gonna study a little bit of the book. Maybe just a little more hope. Hey. You observe Tizo rummaging about the black wagon as though in search of something. He notices you there and rushes up to greet you. Hooray! Tizo's glad you are here. He was just reminiscing about old times. Just as quickly, he resumes his search. Tizo is looking for something a former exile of the Nightwings once gave him. He is growing frustrated that the object he seeks is nowhere to be found. You almost do not notice a lone minstrel's approach. I'm afraid it is gone, Tizo. I am very sorry. Reader, it is nothing that ought be cause for much concern. Merely that Tizo has misplaced something of sentimental value to him. I'm concerned about that. I'd like Tizo to have his stuff. It was just a spare bandage, he indicates, exactly like the one on his horn. Tizo here has had many adventures with the Nightwings. Is that not so, Tizo? He squawks in approval. Those memories shall always stay with you. Is that not what matters most of all? He confirms this as well. And please do not worry yourself about it anymore. It is a symbol of a distant past beside. Tizo skulks away up into the rafters. The lone minstrel watches him go. The object he seeks does not exist, reader. Tizo searches for it from a fleeting memory of its gaze of the Nightwings of the past. He performed the regular duties of other drive imps at first, but soon distinguished himself. I was none too surprised. He was clearly special. He had grown close with the other members of the Nightwings when misfortune fell and the triumvirate fell apart. Perhaps Volfred has revealed to you more of the details. As for Tizo, I feel he must make peace with the shadow of his past somehow. Perhaps then he shall cease searching. You need not worry for him, of course. He's resilient and shall always serve the Nightwings well. You might say he was born for it. Begging your pardon, reader. So Tizo is imagining a false bandage? Not sure what to make of this scene. Lone Minstrel excuses himself in his polite way, leaving you to consider what he said.
Du Jaraberamtas. Temple Agitensa.
And it was tossed out, not say entirely possible. And up to Scribe's Gate. So I'm guessing we have to do a battle with the accusers. Again, you stand before Scribe's Gate, where the gate guardian regards you all above an archway carved from stone. That's true, the wagon was buried, scuttled.
Escutil Noxalas.
Exiles of the Night Wings, you must know by now that once the stars no longer shine, the rites shall cease. For now, step forth.
Nakirara.
Except for you, Tariq, you stay right there.
Salutium, Celeste.
Greetings, Celeste, the Night Wings are prepared, and as for me,
Kem dirastas.
you shall not blaspheme under the gate again. Do we understand each other, Tariq?
Felamta, Celeste.
Aye, Celeste. I apologize for my behavior before. I shall adhere more strictly to my duties.
Vinkramta.
Be sure of it. Now each of you come forth, state your names and what it is you seek while crossing Scribe's Gate. She waves you through toward the summit. The 8 scribes bid the Night Wings welcome. Go forth with glory.
Viravatas.
Am I free to accompany them, Celeste? Shall I remain here? She looks at him a while.
Estara tantus.
You are free to accompany them, Tariq.
Recosta fara.
As you will, Celeste. Until we meet upon the summit, then. Is she really not gonna... Does she really just never want to talk to me again? No? Okay.
Venta visetame.
Well. Oh, it's you guys. Well, come on in, I guess. You got here right on time, because I was just thinking maybe I would close a little early here, you know? Business has been real good and everything. It's just been a little slow in spots. A little slow is all, so I was thinking maybe I should do a sale. What'd you say to that? Stay strong, Ron. You reassure Falcon, Ron, that his goods are already competitively priced, and a sale should not be necessary. Oh, you know, that's just what I was thinking, too. Isn't that funny? I mean, my prices can't be beat already, so a sale, it don't make no sense at all. So, you buying something here or what? The bearer can banish adversaries by flinging the orb into them. That's interesting. I'm tempted enough by this to go for it, I think. Who's gonna do that? Try that. They're leaving, Dad. Just look at how much we got this time. Once more, the time has come for the liberation rite, where one among you can go free if you prevail. Freedom is likewise at stake for your adversaries, the accusers. As your companions gather under the fall, awaiting the commencement of this vital rite, the lone minstrel finds you and regards you in his calm fashion. Night is falling. These moments prior to each commencement, I must admit they give me pause, knowing so much is at stake during the trial that is to come. Tell me something, would you, reader, to ease the waiting for us both? I have traveled far and wide, even beyond these lands. However, the Commonwealth I know only through word and song. I sometimes think on what life would be like out there. If you were not ensnared within this place, and free to roam your country, what would you have done with all your days and years rather than striving here under the stars? Well, I wouldn't have tended the land. My character is a crippled, scribe. I think I would have gone sailing. The Sea of Solace does not compare with the vastness of the oceans on the other side. You oft wondered at what mysteries they hold, and thought perhaps you could have found them out. I understand the yearning to explore. Particularly if exploring could be done on one's own terms, the life of the sailor then. Would that you could find your freedom on the seas someday. The lone minstrel looks forth and you see it is time. Stars above, though fate, begin to burn. The loading screen tips are getting more and more pointed.
The stars that yet remain aflame align once more over the sacred fall of Solium. 'Twas here that the 8 scribes ordained the glorious tradition in which you now participate. The glorious tradition which you and that instigator Wolfred seek to undermine. 'Tis my sincerest hope your adversaries in this liberation rite achieve instead what they desire. May the accusers quickly quench those flames of yours. Let us get on with the proceedings then.
The pyres burn and each of the triumvirats is present and prepared. I concur. The pyres burn, each of the triumvirats is present and prepared. Anointed one of the accusers, come forth now, declare yourself, and pay any respects you have, yeah right, unto your adversaries the Night Wings. Poised as ever, Lendl steps forward and reaches for his mask. I was branded Lendl the Liar. Once I reclaim my liberty, that name shall be forgotten, and my rightful station in the Commonwealth shall be restored. Night Wings, you may have prevailed against me when last we met upon this sacred site, but the many years since then have taught me much. I shall not fail again. Lendl the Liar, more like Lendl the Breakbeat. Yet you still hold much resentment for your adversaries, is that not so, Lendl? Resentment is too kind a word for it. They are cheaters, one and all. Unfairly favored by the scribes, while those such as myself must struggle endlessly for such a chance. Come, my accusers, let us vanquish those undeserving oaths and prove now to the scribes they were fools to favor the likes of them. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna win or lose this, and if I lose, Lendl goes free, and I don't like that, but those are the rules of the game, you know? You win and you leave. No matter who you are. I am ready. Trust you are prepared to play the hymns of me, Tariq? Always, Celeste.
Whom do you endeavor to return?
Gilman, good luck.
Sir Gilman.
Has this knight at last regained his honor? Let us now find out.
Who shall stand with him? Bertrude.
Then we shall do with what is in our power for that one. Oh, I can help? I think I can help.
Very well.
Come then, Night Wings, and look upon me one last time, for by dawn I shall be free, while you all wallow in the terrible defeat we have in store for you.
Commence.
Oh, they've got a lot of fire. You imp! He singles out Kizo from across the sacred grounds. The indignity you have wrought upon me all those long years, tonight it shall be washed away as I last return unto my post. Long have I toiled in this abominable place, only for you, pathetic wretch that you are, you of all things, to thwart me and my accusers in our moment of triumph. He's not even playing, man. With small consolation knowing the Nightwings fell apart soon after. A misfortune you doubtless wrought yourself. As for we have clawed our way back up to this mountaintop, you sniveling, loathsome little beast. And this time, things are going to transpire in a very different manner. Yeah. There is different music, not only for every team, but whether each team is winning or losing, it shifts to a different mix. You watch. Kizo stares right back at him, betraying no emotion. Then he claws at his mask. Certain imp expressions resist translation. Suffice it, Kizo does not hold Lendl in high esteem. It seems Kizo does not hold Lendl's mother in high esteem either. Beautiful. Then he dons his mask once more. How dare you raise your weakling voice at me, you blasted Nightwings! Would that we could all go free. I might have you all arrested and sentenced once again. Now get out of my way! Get banished. Oh! That went wide. That's fine. Now, accusers, grant me your auras and your anger, that we might finally secure our rightful victory against these demons whom we face. He is channeling the auras of his triumvirate and their strength combines with his. This must be the aura gain. I have never fucking heard... He's doing anime shit over there, man! He just fucking went Kaioken on me!
If only Lendl's tendency to bluster caused him to prevail, why then he'd be free by now. In the name of Solium Myrrh.
I mean, if you're gonna, like, expand your aura or whatever, I'm just gonna hit 3 pointers from outside the line. Hey. I keep missing that.
That pyre's flames grow weak.
4-player 2 versus 2. That is entirely... That would be nice, I have to admit. Whoops.
Nightwings.
3, 2, okay. Nope. Ah, well.
I dare say.
It's fine, we got enough chances left. And they're down one now. Whoop.
By now.
They're down one now.
Lendl banished. And there it is, at last. The Nightwings proved their worth. As for their adversaries, they did not. Thus ends the liberation rite. And thus the scribes have chosen. The exile appointed by the Nightwings shall be free, absolved of all misdeeds, return to glory in the Commonwealth. His adversary and all others shall remain to carry out their rightful sentences.
Blast you, Nightwings! Again you cheated me! Have you no pride at all in this tradition? Your mother, dude. Sir Gilman stares at nothing in particular. You sense he is still taking in what has transpired and what it means for him. So then this night, he is to be free? He is to be free. Nay, but that would mean... that would mean... Why, that would mean his honor is restored. One cannot go back onto our Commonwealth by any other means. This night's exile was self-wrought, his disgrace profound, that he has been atoned under the eye of the Underking and those of all his noble comrades. He begins to grow very emotional, and then... This knight loves you all! I'll fucking drink to that. He loves you all, that you would strive for him, and let him join your noble quest. This knight does not feel as though he is deserving of this outcome, yet the result appears inarguable. Even now, this knight is drawn into the Shimmer Pool. Our time grows brief. Therefore, know this, beloved friends. This knight shall ever strive on your behalf there in the Commonwealth. Though his honor may have been restored, his true journey only now begins. So, good friends of the Nightwings, this knight must now bid you farewell. However, the bonds we form together shan't be broken by mere distance, nay. Strive on, good friends. Strive on. You can still hear Sir Gilman as he vanishes into the Shimmer Pool. If this lowly knight could have achieved such glory, surely can you all. For now, farewell. Farewell.
Godspeed, Sir Gilman. Perhaps the scribes are watching even now. Watching as their glorious tradition draws to a close.
I noticed that the voice will shit all over, you know, the Nightwings collective. But when someone goes free, they are, you know, absolved of all crimes in the Commonwealth. Even though he knows what they're planning. He can't do anything about it.
Now take your execrable companion someplace else.
Like I was saying, you return to the wagon, having prevailed against the accusers in the liberation rite. Fortuitous result. Do you think Sir Gilman is already home? You succeeded in liberating Sir Gilman, who returned to the Commonwealth in glory. Our plan approaches a key turning point. Let us ensue it soon comes to fruition. Not only for ourselves here, but for our companions and our loved ones in the Commonwealth. But we have little time now for reflection of this. Look yonder, reader, the stars demand we go already. Let us help them usher in the end of all of this. You turn your attention to the glimmer of the stars. Their current rate of disappearance suggests another liberation rite shall be coming very soon. Alright, who we got? The Tempers, the Pyre Hearts, and the Withdrawn. We've already beaten all of these teams. Jesus. What happened to all the favor? They can't have as many games now because there are fewer stars. Well, let's go challenge the Tempers. I don't know. I don't really have a preference here. I guess the Withdrawn will be at the... But then if we don't... The Chastity... Ugh. Yeah, let's... Can I clip the Chaste again? No. They are not available for us to play against. They must be playing somebody else this week. Your adversary, Ignarius, likely knows the cycle of the rites is drawing to a close. His last remaining chance to earn the favor of the scribes and regain his freedom likely hinges on the outcome of this next rite. The cycle of the rites is soon to end. The exiles of the downside striving to be free. Your adversaries, your companions, even you yourself are running out of time. Following the successful outcome of the Liberation Rite, you find Bertrude muttering something to herself. Hear some of the words as you approach. Shouldst thou seek darkness, then may nightfall come to thee in time. Shouldst thou seek courage, then may bravery soon bloom within thy heart. Shouldst thou seek water, may the oceans open wide for thee. Should thou seek fortune, then... You recognize it as the Bog Benediction, though you have never heard it said aloud. An old blessing of goodwill from the southern bogs, never uttered there in modern times.
Ice is frozen
Bertrude
water.
sees you there and cuts short the chant. Care thee explain their presence, O reading one. We were amidst an invocation, which we must now begin anew. 'Tis for the Worm Knight, if thou would needest know, to speed him on his homeward journey. The Worm Knight are a distant kin. Unlike their ilk, ours have but passing interest in the sea. There, within the depths, we have long seen that which is to be seen. Nevertheless, the distant kin is kin. That foolish Worm Knight. Surely he could have never survived his years if not for divine aid, thus we provide him more. Perhaps the Worm Knight, easily underestimated as he is, perhaps he shall turn out to be of some small benefit as part of Sandalwood's designs. She glares at you intensely for a moment. Mistake thee not these actions for affection, nor for a longing of the loudness of this place to escalate again to volumes such as only his incessant shouting could achieve. Now leave us, reading one. The evocation must be finished ere the Worm Knight finally arrives upon the shores beyond this land, before his homecoming. She turns away from you and begins her chant again. Shouldst thou seek shelter, then may the elements be merciful for thee. Should thou seek kinship, may thy kin hold memory of thee. Should thou seek darkness. You leave her to the benediction. The Worm Knight's absence is already felt. You know, however, he will strive with all his might on your behalf there on the other side. You've returned. How can I help you? I still can't really talk to... I don't know if I'm gonna get slapped for talking to her too much or what, but... At dawn, your companions are prepared to depart. Everyone is silent. Your travels are to take you back to the glade of Lu, but soon after, the stars shall draw you here again. So here's the thing. I'm gonna throw. Because the alternative is either the Bog Witches at the summit, and that match will be hell, and I don't want an anarchist, demon, god, star, worshipping Bog Witch loose on the surface. Or the Chastity. And I don't want Manly loose on the surface either, because he is, like, what happens if you pee in a tree for 20 years and then leave it to walk free. So I'm gonna throw this match, and I'm gonna see if they show up. You sense the presence of your adversary, Manly, here. Oh, fuck off, Manly! He, though, expressed it. Alright, what is he doing? Scry for information. Your senses guide you to a scrying pool, somewhere in the gnarled roots of Cinderroot, and you look upon the waters. Manly is, kind of a slime ball. He's extremely a career politician. And I don't like him much. Soon you experience a vision of Manly, who stood against Dalbert and the Fate in his most recent rite. Now, Dalbert, no need to get upset. This was the only reasonable outcome, as I'm sure you know. This was not to be our night. However, Manly, we salute your victory and wish you onward toward your chance at freedom. Oh, no hard feelings, I'm sure. I'll put in a good word about the Fate. The vision failed. It seems that Chastity prevailed against the Fate sometime not long ago, gaining the favor of the scribes. You wonder where their paths have taken them since you return to the Black Wagon to pursue your vocations. I think we can get somebody maxed out, and I kind of want it to be... Faye, if possible. Tell me something I don't know, for there is lots of it. Alright. And that maxes her out. Good. Blessed are the scribes whose eternal wisdom shines upon us through the stars, and illuminates the path to our salvation. Wait, what did I just say? Wait, that was strange, but I feel so invigorated now. Okay, jumps and power jumps further than usual. The brief charge-up time is greatly reduced. Jumps further than usual. Each of us, we have a part to play, I think, like how the 8 scribes needed one another. Yeah, there is a decided parallel drawn between, like, the fact that the Nightwings each have somebody one from each species to wear the mask, and the scribes who were one of each species. But I'm noticing the parallels. And I'm sure they're intentional. I don't need anything from the shop. Dark is falling, as the preparations for the coming rite against the Tempers are finally complete. Volfred specifically called it out 2 streams ago. You're probably right, and I just glossed past it. The task took somewhat longer than usual this time on account of Dojariel's absence. She returns, joining the other, in as inconspicuous a manner as she can manage. She grows angry about something then, but no one speaks to her of it, with the stars above ignite drawing your attention. Across from you, Ignarius and the Tempers emerge and take position. You know what? I've thought about it, and I can't bring myself to throw. That's not the rules. I've been playing mostly by the rules so far. I haven't thrown a game on purpose. I'm not gonna start now. Manly shows, he fucking shows.
It seems the stars once more have mustered wherewithal to usher in the rites. The sky grows dimmer by the day. An age is ending. Surely you must know by now that you shall never all be free. Yet still you struggle to fulfill some senseless plan. But I digress, of course. Some of us still honor the tradition. Some of us hold dear the teachings of the scribes.
Here we go again then, Nightwing. So I gotta say, I started looking forward to these little outings. Might say it's all that's keeping me going anymore these days, you know? Not like I'll be getting out of here. But doing all this right stuff helps kill some time, I guess. Is that all this is to you, then? A way to kill some time? Curly horns! Having ways of killing time ain't nothing to scoff at. What else is there to life but killing time? Let's see you take that anger out on me.
Who shall besmirch the Nightwing's name?
My god, dude, go fuck yourself.
Faye. Volfred. Jodariel. If that is all.
Prepared as ever. Alright, you damn Nightwing, let's see what you got.
Now begin.
Alright.
'Twas dangerously close. Glory to the Nightwings first of all. Begone, Jodariel.
No? I'd rather you didn't. Oh.
A shameful outcome.
Did somebody just get in front of the...
Straight into your flames.
I saw shadows in front of the screen.
Faye banished.
Hey? Shit.
Unfortunate. Banished one and all.
Yo. Hey.
Now then.
Okay.
Begone, Bolfred.
Begone, Wilfred. He's so happy whenever that happens. You can tell how happy it is. It's in the tone of his voice. He's just so delighted.
How sad for that one there.
How did you get that? Oh god, okay.
Crushing blow against
Yeah, I may lose anyway, in spite of... See that, Nightwing? We still got a little fight in us now, don't we?
Yes.
Oh boy, that is actually a really big health number. That is not a small number.
Your demon is banished.
But yes, events are certainly transpiring.
And Bulfred plunged into the flame. There.
And,
A deftly thwarted drive. The orb engulfed in fire.
anyway, if I succeed, trust me, it is definitely because of the pom-poms. There is no other way. Nope. Get blocked on.
Empire shan't survive much more of that. The rite has nearly ended. Yes.
Ah!
Deftly thwarted the drive. Ferocity unbridled. Simply
Right.
abhorrent. Their aim was true, and thus your pyre wanes.
You know, I don't try to make these matches tight. I'm trying to fucking win. I'm trying to win, not put on a good show.
If I were that one, I'd be rather angry.
I'm gonna take my... Oops, no.
Oh, ho, ho.
Ah!
Someone grasp the orb. Oh, you poor thing.
This is the longest fucking play in existence!
Quite the close call there, no?
Yes, very close.
And it is done.
Ah,
The Nightwings prevail.
I really thought I
They
didn't have
somehow
that.
managed to scrape by despite their adversaries' efforts. The rite is complete.
I pay tribute to the pom-poms. We Templars, we were damn unstoppable, but this again?
The rites do
I'm
tend
sorry,
to teach
man.
something of trust.
Like, in order for us to win, somebody has to lose. The rites would have me think I have nothing left to learn, whether that be a falsehood or a contradiction, I am yet uncertain. Nonetheless, I shall press on. For the limits of my mastery have always exceeded my grasp, and I expect they always shall. Jodorio's pile partner automatically gains plus 35. Or she can double rush. I think let's give the Pyre some more armor. Faye cannot rise in rank. Wolfred can. But he isn't.
Now go and wallow in the downside for a while.
Oh, I'll wallow all I like. Inside the wagon after defeating the Tempers, Wolfred is discussing aspects of the outcome with the others when the lone minstrel seeks you out. Pardon the interruption, reader, though I need to ask a moment of your time while the night is clear enough for you to see. Please come have a look outside. Perhaps the news of your next destination may further stir the hearts of your companions. What, is it different? Among what stars yet remain shining in the night, one of them now burns as bright as ever you have seen. Oh, no, we're going right back up to the mountaintop again. It's gonna be fucking manly. No! It's the withdrawn. Okay, that's fair. Probability of the plan's success, 71%. That's as good odds as you can get. Alright, it's Udmil Day. At least we mind broke her earlier. This will be an easier fight. The cycle turns even more quickly now until such time as it shall shudder to a halt. He makes a sound then almost like a laugh. I forget myself, reader. I should not say such things. The scribes, they would say that one ought focus on the path in front of her. When we set forth to walk a long and labored path, it can all be too much if we stand back and look upon it on a whole. We may well decide to turn around. But if we begin to walk while casting down our gaze, and while resisting the urge to look too far ahead, we may make steady, careful progress. What if I could raise it to 72%? Well, that would be an improvement. Soon enough, we may arrive where we endeavored. That said, there are those who say that if it isn't 100%, it's 50%. And there are even those who would say if it isn't 100%, it's 0%. The lone minstrel bids you a good eve. You had best retire for the night, for when first daylight comes, it shall be time again to take to the skies. Anybody? Sandra? No. Okay. XCOM percent, yeah. I'm sorry? Your wagon reels from the impact of some sort of massive object slamming into it mid-fight. False night wings. Orlek calls down to you from atop his wagon. I'd like to think he is actually standing on top of it like a surfboard. Just, you know, standing there, feet together, arms crossed, flying through the sky. Again, you seek to climb that cursed mountain beneath us. Again, you seek to take my rightful place. I should send you crashing down to it that you might fall as I have. He stares down at all of you. But I shall not. Rather, we shall meet upon the summit ere the last cycle of the rites is ended. Until then. You couldn't say this like a normal person. You had to ram us. Wolfred or Bertrude. Bertrude it is. You make a landing on the sacred Mount Elodial after your encounter with Orlek. Orlek spoke the truth. He has a right to gain the summit. When the time comes, Celeste shall deem him worthy and shall let him pass. While he has transgressed against the rites, he has also been anointed and prevailed. Nothing is written in the book on this, and liberty ought already be his. Are you literally, there ain't no rule in me? There ain't no rule that he can't just walk onto the summit and play a game? I mean, to be fair, we did have a talking dog playing basketball with us, but Rookie was cool.
Tebratave.
For the time, it seems he has not yet traveled to the summit. Perhaps he is still making preparations with his fellow exiles. When exactly Oralek intends to make good on his promise, he did not make clear. For now, you are to confront Omilde and the Withdrawn atop the summit. But first, you may prepare. Later that afternoon, you accompany Bertrude through the quiet solitude of Temple High Road to the monument of Louis Florian. We do not fear ye, ancient gods, ye who cannot even keep the stars illuminated in the dark. We do not fear what is to come. We do not fear for our companions, we do not fear our adversaries, we do not fear the Commonwealth or fear for it. And we do not fear for us. Okay, fear is the mind killer. Let's squeeze just the smallest little bonus out of our presence. Who wants to talk? Bertrude. You notice Bertrude studying the Beyonder crystal. She sets it down as you approach. The mouthy wraith rebuketh our attempt to summon her. She insisteth we are too young to understand. She must be referring to Sandra. It seems Bertrude may be able to invoke her. Stubborn, that one. Possessing of an ancient understanding, olden ways and olden times. Many centuries of history, knowledge of the 8 scribes themselves held captive there, within that green-tinned stone, within that Wraith's own memories. Would that we could extract them in some way. Could you, like, not? Perhaps thou could induce the Wraith's obedience, reading one, for we she heedeth not. She claimeth obligations unto only thee. Although, she stops and thinks very carefully. The Beyonder crystal is not to be tampered with. Your fellow exiles know its use is at your sole discretion. I just realized she's got stuff living in her robes. I can see the eyeballs. I only just noticed that. Thanks, that's horrible. She backs away from you, still thinking to herself. Ignores our inquiries about this Oh, it's the snake. Okay, if it's just snakes, that's fine. Our reasoning has taken us elsewhere. Her refusal to cooperate is like to be an ancient warning of some sort. Yeah. 'Tis possible others of the southern bogs know something of her, but we shall not be tampering further with such sorceries ourselves. That the Wraith refuseth to cooperate suggested her predicament is suitably deserved. She heads out in a huff, but just as the air grows still and quiet, you hear something from the Yonder crystal. You sense something from the Yonder crystal. Mouthy Wraith, she says. Can you believe it, reader? I want to be so young and foolish again. Sandra the Unseeing laughs to herself. Your proximity to the Yonder crystal must have been sufficient to invoke her in this case. That crone of yours is far too curious, I think. It appears even she has learned her lesson in this case. Thank the stars. I am beholding to no more than one among you Nightwings at a time, and thank the stars that happens to be you instead of her. And if that crone attempts to lay her fingers on my Beyonder crystal again, I shall just have to torment her dreams until she's my age. Do feel free to mention that if it comes up. Now farewell, you know where to find me, lovely reader. She vanishes. It seems Sandra proved resistant to Bertrude's tampering. If so much history is trapped within the Beyonder crystal, there it shall remain for the foreseeable future. Yeah? Okay. Okay, one up. Deep in the solemn beauty of Mount Elodial, you find a messenger imp looking to bring you the latest news and rumors from the other side. This time around, the imp brings tidings of Sir Gilman and what happened to him since his liberation at the fall of Solium, when at last his self-imposed exile came to an end. You learn his return to the Commonwealth was met with much rejoicing. Yay. and that before long he was promoted to the rank of Veiled Captain on the Blood Border. And yet, with tears welling in his eyes, he did refuse the post, stating he no longer had the heart to fight against the High Wing remnants as he once did. He then cast down his helmet, and when next anyone saw him, he was among Volfred's agents, having joined the revolution to reshape the Commonwealth from within. He thanked the messenger imp for the report and saluted Crispy as surely Gilman would have. Soon the news has everyone in the wagon talking. Yeah, the tears he shed ought to have been bottled and set aside for uses in various salves. Knight or no, he shall always remain Sir Gilman in my eyes. Must have taken a great restraint for him to do what he has done. You think one day I can be as brave as him? Because I don't always think I can. Noble Gilman made the gallant choice, it seems. Our plan comes closer to fruition through his good example and support. He feels inspired by the news of Gilman's selfless actions. The news of Gilman's liberation fills you and your exiles with newfound resolve. Good. Good fortune to him. You return once more to Scribe's Gate, where the Gate Guardian awaits.
Escutil Noxal.
Exiles of the Night Ring, you, Tariq, this is to be one of our final meetings.
Salutium, Ceres.
Greetings, Celeste. The Night Wings are prepared, and afterward I would have words with you in private, if you please.
Simnaterus.
Seems to me rather late for words now, Tariq, but I shall hear them once your charges cross the gate.
Horana Cramptus.
Now all of you come forth, state your names and what it is you seek while crossing Scribe's Gate. Once more your companions cross the gate, one after another. Once more you follow them in turn. Celeste regards you all and waves you through towards the summit.
Orgasum gratas.
The 8 scribes bid the Night Wings welcome. Go forth with glory. And Tariq,
Samea.
hi Celeste.
Retira tempta.
You may rejoin the others in a while. For now I would hear those words of yours.
Penamta Ceres.
Certainly, Celeste.
Acertava.
Everyone, I shall see you shortly. Shoot your shot, man. Good luck.
That sleep below, to the canyons open wide.
Wait.
A song of joy for the lost and lonesome bride, on the hill and in the valley, where the weeds
I guess he is doing his best out there. Good luck to him. Sandra?
Eterni talochestas.
No.
Tujare beramtas.
now he rose through
I don't know who I'm going to try. Tizak, I think. Tizo. The time has come to deliver one of your fellow exiles to a homecoming in the Commonwealth, lest your adversaries will withdraw and achieve the same instead. The lone minstrel has returned and approaches as you wait the signal from the stars.
Praetere liberatus.
There's something I wish to ask you, reader. Something which ordinarily would not be my place to discuss in any detail.
Sirim narava.
You have observed the stars. If you would not mind my asking you in such a direct manner, how many liberation rites do you suppose yet remain? If we liberate someone in this rite, we're down to 3 players. I think. No, we're down to 4 players. And if we had gotten every one of them, it would be 3 players. So, 2 remain, including this one. You tell him the only logical deduction which you have been able to make based on all your readings of the stars of late should be 1 final liberation right after tonight.
Arestraleva.
I concur with your evaluation, reader, madam. I wish to make certain you were aware, so that you and the Night Wings may yet make the most of your remaining time together thus.
Sumta verias.
As to what shall happen once the final liberation rite is ended, we soon shall both find out. But lo, it seems we are called upon once more. Look forth. I think this time it's going to be Tizo. I'm not sure what Tizo is going to do on the surface, but that's not my business.
Reader, I would ask that you think back for just a moment, if you please. When you first looked upon the Book of Rites, think back upon the words that it revealed. Oblige the voice that tells you more. Oblige the voice that tells you more. Would that the scribes were here among us still. I would not sing your praises to them, rest assured. I trust that you shall savor this occasion. You shan't have to oblige me for much longer.
You sarcastic shit. The pyres burn and each of the triumvirants is present and prepared.
Calorigas.
I concur.
Regita noxalis.
Anointed one of the withdrawn, come forth now, declare yourself, and pay any respects you have unto your adversaries, the Nightwings. A bog dweller of Milday appears from the shadows and reaches for her mask. We are known to be Witched Milday. Our adversaries, they are nothing to us of the one we serve. You shall all be devoured in the coming age, an age of strife, brought down by the fell wings and many seeing eyes of Slatch the Astral-born. Okay, I guess you regained your faith or something. You speak blasphemy upon this sacred site, O Milday. If you value your liberty, I suggest you cease your mocking of the scribes. The scribes. They failed to stop his Slatch, and he shall rise again. As for your Nightwings, you are of consequence in Slatch's grand design. She dons her mask once more. Soon we shall return unto the land which Slatch shall earth it, where we shall offer him our blood and that of many, many others.
Noxalis.
Nightwings, your choice. Whose name shall you conduct this liberation rite?
Calorigas.
Ulta coverantas.
And I wish you to come prepare our song with me, Tariq.
Whom shall you attempt to send home this time? Tizo.
Yeah? Tizo seems stunned by your decision, though is very grateful to you for it all the same.
Who shall lend him support? Bertrude.
For that one and for the reading one, we shall do this. And...
Faye.
me? Of course, I'll do my best. This is important.
With that out of the way.
Soon, Slatch. Very soon we shall release thee, and as for you, Nightwing, we have very much in store for you. I'm sure you do. I don't care.
Commence.
Oh. Oh, I'm starting to debuff here. That's fine. Whoops. No, I don't blame you at all. I do not blame you at all. There is no need for apologies there. Slatch, we invoke thee, for we seek thy ancient strength. Befoul our enemies with thy blood. Damnation to the Nightwings, damnation to the scribes. The invocation of Slatch. Your adversary, Witch of Milday's curse, shall summon forth dark pools of banishing ichor, wheresoever any exile is banished here this night. Oh, that's interesting.
There it is.
Good thing it didn't fucking matter.
Blasted Nightwings.
Your god's dead, your god's dead, man. Yeah,
An
that's
outcome
immature.
which left little room for doubt. Thus ends the liberation rite. And thus the scribes have chosen the exile appointed by the Nightwings shall be free.
He resents that a
Absolved
little
of
more
all
each time he has to
misdeeds.
say it.
Return to glory in the Commonwealth. His adversary and all others shall remain to carry out their rightful sentences.
I really only just noticed they didn't just reuse the same speech every time. They recorded different takes of that speech. Know that this affront against the Slotch has been recorded, and his vengeance shall darken the skies. I'm sure it will. Gab's dead, by the way. Curry? Kizo is stunned by what transpired and by what he thinks is about to happen. He looks around as the reality of what transpired set in. He realizes now this is goodbye, at least for the time. He struggles to express the gratitude he feels at having served the Nightwing these many years. He also does not know what to expect from the Commonwealth, and whether he will be accepted. Nevertheless, he vows he will keep doing his part to the benefit of Volfred's plan. It's gotta help to have an imp out there who knows, like, so much. With that, he splashes into the shimmer pool and is gone from view. Hear him chirping one last time. Kizo wishes the best of each of you and asks that you remember him.
Godspeed, Tizo. The
He's
cycle of
tumbling like a...
violence is nearly at
Okay.
an end.
He looked like he was in the dryer for a second. Jealous? You shut up. It prevailed in the liberation against the withdrawn. Already does the Black Wagon feel quieter than usual without Tizo, who returned to the Commonwealth. You overhear some of your companions reflecting on this. He has passed from this place along with all his eccentricities. The scribes will see a safe return. You wonder who, if anyone, among you shall be the next to go. I don't know who to try to send. I guess it would have to... I don't know who will try to send last. Volfred. Maybe? At this point, what has become of our plan needn't be the subject of our speculation. I trust we'll learn the outcome soon enough. Our actions to this point shall pave the way. Perhaps our faith as well. So for now, let's focus on this. We stand upon the brink of the last turn of the cycle of the rites. Soon we'll have a final chance to get one of you home. Reader, up for a little stargazing, let's see where on the downside we'll be returning for these final rites. You turn back to the darkness to look upon the last few stars, too stubborn to relinquish their light. I guess we gotta have one last playoff against somebody. The Tempers, the Pyre Hearts, on Milday. Beating on Milday... Oh hey, we're at 76%. The Withdrawn no longer have any chance at freedom before the rites are ended. The fucking chest. It's gonna be manly in the last rites, isn't it? Well, let's... go fuck with the Pyre Hearts, because... what does it matter? Once more you are to face the Pyre Hearts then, although I wonder. He hesitates before saying anything further. You cannot sense his thoughts. I apologize. I was lost in thought there for a moment. Let us make our way to the Ridge of Gaul when everyone is feeling more refreshed as much as possible. Faye? In spite of the late hour, you find Faye minding her own business in the wagon and talking to herself, or rather in the wagon walls. But most of all, I think I'm gonna miss his little chirping sounds. He woke me up with them sometimes. He kept waking me up. He sure was a good friend to both of us, right, little brother? Well, you knew him even better than I did. Much better, I should think. So you must really miss him, too. She spreads her arms against the wall. I understand, I do. Those drive imps up there, they seem very sad about this, too. Or maybe some are happy, I don't know. More food for them to share, and they like food. Tizo sure liked food. I wonder if he'll like the food at home. It's very different, right? And so, maybe he won't, but he eats almost anything. Oh, this must be so exciting for him. And I know the scribes. They shall be watching over him still. I think maybe they love him best of all. I cannot wait to hear what he thinks of it all. And I think for sure he will help with Mr. Sandalwood's big plan. That's the great thing about Tizo, little brother. No matter where he goes, he always helps. He always helps. She bounds off without acknowledging your presence in the least. You sense she has found some peace, despite now being separated from her little friend Tizo. Maybe it's Faye that I ought to try to send up. It is daybreak. You are to set forth now for the Ridge of Gaul for what appears to be the final time. Thereafter you shall return here for one exile's final chance at liberty. Yeah, there they go. Hey, what's the big idea, huh? Oh, it's you Nightwings. Come to rub it in again, I guess. We Templars, we've been trading flames with you who knows how long. So what, you got us once or twice lately. Matter of time before we go and get you back. So you might want to keep that in mind next time you go messing with these horns, hear me? Now get out of my sky. Yeah, alright. And they are setting down at the Glade of Lou, where presumably they are gonna have a match of some kind. I don't know with who. Your flight takes you near to where you reach past Stormwall, into Deathless Tempest. With the climate and the downside intensifying, you wonder if the storm has spilled forth from its confines, started to ravage other regions of the land. One thing's for sure, staying here is probably gonna suck for whoever gets stuck staying here. Oh, wait a minute. You soar near to the border of the Sandfolds, where your companions first found you in the downside long ago. There's nothing for you there, and you wish never to see it again. Okay! Let's see, I could land at Blumenpool. Or Hollow Root. I'm going with Birchroot. She requires alchemical reagents. The Bog Witch Big Birchroot knows much of things growing unseen throughout the land, including things residing here within the sweeping plains of Bloomingpool. We have made note of thy willing assistance. Come along then, reading one. Why she requests your company in such excursions, only she could say. Yet she does no such thing. She instead directs you to collect the foul ingredients she seeks. Reagents seem to disappear into her robes, and you return in silence. Later, you note a new talisman has appeared upon the group's possessions, bearing Birchroot's unmistakable mark. A living flame. When your pyre has more than the adversaries, you do bonus damage. Nice. That's not nothing. I don't think I'll be using it, but it's not nothing. Oh, you know, what if I... Hey guys, say, I noticed your little imp pal isn't with you anymore. Is he okay? I heard the wildest thing, that he somehow got out of here, back to the other side. And I'm like, why would an imp want that? Well, you know, sometimes people want things. Plus 10, God, I do not have... I don't think I have the money. What would... Well, I can sell Sir Gilman's scale. And... do those claws. And then I have the money to really upgrade this piece of glass. And that could be interesting. Let's slap this on someone real quick. Let's slap this on Jodario real quick. So, plus 8. You can't upgrade things beyond that. Okay. That is actually kind of not too bad. Rank 15 talisman, really. Alright, extra quickness. That can't hurt. What is his unique thing again? Oh, it transports him further than... okay, I don't care. You guys take care, okay? And thanks for doing business. After making the necessary preparations among the lonesome lands of the Ridge of Gaul, you and your companions await the commencement of the rites. It is quieter even than usual at the outset of such events. The lone minstrel appears bearing some sort of news. I have checked, and it appears as though the Pyre hearts have not yet arrived, reader madam. There is no sign of Sir Deluge or anyone. Their sigil is not set either. If what he says is true and your adversaries are not present, then you presume the rite cannot commence. However, the stars themselves soon indicate you are mistaken. Wait. He didn't fucking show? I could have activated all of the bonus experience stars.
Reader, the Commonwealth, your home. Today it is aflame. Much like a stack of books. Aflame because of you. Because of your outlandish plan. Not that you care. Not that you shall live to see this place again. Your attempts at revolution shan't succeed. Though by all means, keep trying. As for myself, I shall enjoy presiding over these remaining rites.
The rite is set to commence, but your adversaries, they have failed to show. Why, the scribes, they must have lost all hope. Indeed. As the rites are drawing to a close, some of the triumphants you have met, perhaps they're beginning to decide the stars are not worth heeding any longer. Sir Deluge, you wonder whether he would give up on the rite. Yes, he fucking would! If anybody would, he would! He lacks in courage, that much is certain. Though his desire to prove his competence did seem to spur him on. In any case, we have begun the ceremony here, and so I ask that we end it.
Choose quickly your triumvirate. Volfred. Bertrude. Ixalian. Jodariel. It is done.
Not much of a challenge.
Lo, even your adversaries have abandoned you. And it is done. The Nightwings prevail by default. Not that their adversaries even care.
That felt really hollow. I wanted a match. Wow. Nothing drives home the sense of, like, the stars are going out despair. Like, your sports team's adversaries just not even bothering to send a note. My only hope is our would-be adversaries find some peace.
Boundless are the teachings of the scribes.
Oh, we get an
You
itty-bitty
may
bit of it.
go now at your earliest convenience.
Well, the numbers don't lie, and they spell victory for me at the summit. So, no one speaks further of the Pyre Hearts back at the Black Wagon. Everyone is instead preoccupied with the right that is to come. Thus is the final chance at liberty present itself at last, then.
Strale saltas.
The stars always shine with truth. The ending of the cycle of the rites is now upon us. He looks over to you.
Pratere regeratus.
Please look forth, reader, madam, and see for yourself. You may well surmise where we are going next. You turn toward the wagon door. You know what you will see out there. Just now, however, the time has come to face it. The dim and fading light of the final star still pierces through the darkness, demanding your attention, guiding you toward the end point of your path. Oralek is already on his way. Your record against them is 0-1. Thus shall the cycle of the rites be ended for an age. You sense that if the rites shall ever commence again, it shall not be during your lifetime, or that of any of your companions, even the longest-lived ones. The stars reveal to you one thing more. The adversary you will face will be Oralek. Already he has crossed Strive's gate and awaits your arrival. If the 8 scribes created the Nightwings in their own likeness, perhaps it is only fitting that the Nightwings should, in the end, be forced to face themselves.
Sebature.
It is a shame we should have to confront Oralek in the end. Our goals should never have been at cross purposes. I am surprised that this is what the scribes desire. For now, it may be best that you recover until dawn. Regain your strength as best you can for the coming trial. Rest well, reader. The group disperses as exhaustion sets in. At dawn, you fly to Mount Elodio to make a final effort to achieve your plan and get somebody home. But who? Yeah, how is this going? 78%. Well,
Foolish reader. Your so-called friends. You are accomplice to their hateful plot. They are exploiting you. You shall never have your freedom.
by dawn, you are already up and about after a troubled slumber. The Black Wagon is prepared for its final voyage to the fall of Solium. No one speaks. As you lift off into the skies, the lone minstrel raises his voice, cutting through the somber mood.
Gratus.
Reader, a certain olden ballad comes to mind just now.
Tristatage.
I think it may befit the circumstance. Perhaps it may help to pass the time along our flight. Would you mind very much if I were to play this song for the Nightlings? Pyre, I've never stopped you. You urged the lone minstrel to play his ballad, so all among you might hear it.
When the stars align, the rites shall come to bear. Illuminate the signs, the exiles shall be there. All are not the same, but three shall be as one. Freedom in flame, the end has just begun. Strength may break our own, but twisted make upgrade. Together on their own, the journey shall be made. The journey shall be made.
You touch down amid the fading glory of Mount Elodial to make pilgrimage to the summit for one last time. One last liberation rite shall soon commence. One last exile shall regain his or her freedom. All others shall remain to carry out their sentences here on the downside for the remainder of their lives. And in the Commonwealth, the plan of which you are a part shall either come to fruition or shall be suppressed. After having landed, you join Jardariel in an expedition to the monument of Jomar Many-Mane for what is likely to be the last time. One last opportunity presents itself to us for one among us to be free again. I have considered whether it ought to be me, and I remain indifferent. I have no wish to see the Commonwealth I left behind. I have decided I would rather my efforts here contribute somehow to the success of this plan of ours. You scribes, I do not address you lightly in all this. I suspect you may be listening after all. If you are, then I appreciate your willingness. Soon she is finished, you return to the wagon in silence. Both the Demon Kid would ascend together. Sorry, it's one at a time. And I think you're right. I think it's gonna have to be... Volfred. He's the only one that makes any sense. Assuming we can. He has very low experience next to everyone else. He may not be an option. If Volfred's adversaries extinguish his pyre, it is restored by 40% instead. Alright. When we can speak of fear out in the open, we come closer to achieving freedom. Our struggles are not ours alone to bear. Sandra? Anything? No. The Scribe's Gate. A messenger imp with news and rumors from the other side manages to track down your wagon in the splendors of Mount Elodial. The imp's latest information is about none other than Tizo, who you liberated at the fall of Solium. Everybody says he is the first creature of his kind to come to the Commonwealth. While this unique status brought Tizo no shortage of prestige, he has nonetheless experienced difficulty acclimating to the new environment. It seems he grew quite despondent. Then at last he managed to track down Volfred's agents, with whom he is working to find a means to bring more exiles home. Thus has the revolution grown stronger. He also left for you a special verbal message via his most trusted messenger, who rears up and intunes, Scree-hee-hoom! He misses us and is ready to see us again. You thank the messenger for the report and ask him to relay your kind regards. Your companions begin to talk in turn. Very, very bright, that one. Would have served well as our familiar. Perhaps someday yet it will be so. I'm so happy for him. I wish I could have had a friend like him when I was there. You did it, little one. You'd scarce believe how long Artizo toiled here in service of the Nightwings. He deserves his peace more than us all. Truly, once more it seems I underestimated him and his resilience. I shall look forward to our next reunion, Tizo, perhaps when we are back among the stars. The news of Tizo's adventures in the Commonwealth fills you and your exiles with newfound resolve. Plus one hope. Good luck, Tizo. You're a celebrity. The Gate Guardian is there as ever, but you sense something different in her.
Escutil noctalas.
Exiles of the Nightwings, we shall not meet again after the coming rite.
Simnaderus.
Talik and I, it shall be time we take our rest, I think.
Salutiam, Ceres.
Greetings, Celeste. I would tell you the Nightwings are prepared, though this time I am uncertain anyone among us feels thus.
Onvisacare.
We have a duty to uphold, Tariq.
Taruntadage.
And then what, Celeste?
Cetara nilum.
And then nothing. Not for the Rites or us. Not till the dawn of a new age.
Transage los.
Now, Nightwing, step forth. State your names and what it is you seek while crossing Gate. Your fellow exiles approach her, now with sureness in their step. I shall go first. I am Captain Jodario. I am here to honor the commitments I have made to my companions and to the common goal which we have come to share. We are called Big Birchwood. We seek to fulfill the plan of Sandalwood, for we are fond of him and his beliefs. And then to go about our business. My name is Volford Sandalwood. I long as yet to see an age where freedom is one's birthright, and no longer are good people such as these forced to contend with it. Oh, my name is Faye, and I'm here because the scribes. This is the path they have shown me and all of us. I like it when they call to me. Finally, you step forward once more. You, a crippled scholar who simply wants to see your quest to its completion, and who managed to come this far with this group. The Gate Guardian observes you for a moment, then motions past the archway toward the summit. The 8 scribes bid the Nightwings welcome. Glow forth with glory. Except for you, Tariq. You stay right there. I thought you said the rites are not yet ended, Tariq. He looks to her, then over to the rest of you.
Remis cavas.
Pardon me, everyone. I shall be there when the stars align. Good. Good for him. You have gained the summit of Mount Elodial for the 7th time, the final time in which any one of you shall have a chance to leave the downside. The Beyonder Crystal seeks you. I was hoping for that. Hey, can we talk? Thank you for visiting on short notice, reader. I understand you have important matters to attend to, so let me be blunt. Please listen for a moment, then. I know this whole affair is coming to an end, all of it. I sense the binds that form the right becoming weak. Which means soon you will not need me anymore. Not that you have needed me at any point, but still. My services will not be of any further use. I would love to tell you this means I shall be free from my eternal prison. For some of my Beyonders it shall be a release. My accomplices are bound by weaker words than those which have bound me. They shall fade away, I think, and finally rest. I, however, shall remain. Share the dates for a moment. Thus, I have a proposition for you. I do not know where you will go from here, but I ask you to take me there, wherever it shall be. By that I mean take this stone prison of mine and keep it. Do not just leave it, as all your predecessors have, each time their stay among the Nightwings reached an end. Soon, the Beyonder Crystal shall serve no use at all except to keep me trapped. I am content to remain thus, for I have little choice, but I would prefer to do so in your company. For I do enjoy your company, reader. This may not be much of a compliment, but I assure you I much prefer your company to an eternity of solitude. I have no wish to see you gain in years and eventually decay while I remain unchanging. But I should rather have more years while having contact, even if those years are to be brief. It shall afford me many more in which I might think back upon our times. Sandra's stone slapped into your forehead like Diablo. Yeah, just grab it and whack it into my forehead and it cracks like an egg. She pops out. Nobody's done that before. What the fuck, man? Nor do I expect you to accommodate my needs, for I am well aware I have my limits in accommodating yours. That is to say, I wish you to go forth after this night and live your life however you see fit. For your own sake, may all this rights business enrich your coming days somehow. And in considering that life after this night, if you think there may be a place in it for me, however small, then once again I simply ask you take me along. That way, should you ever wish to visit me again sometime, you could, and I would like to have that as an option more than not. My request here is a selfish... Okay, shush.
Orerenta.
You could always try to sell the Beyonder Crystal for a reasonable sum somewhere, something to that end. There must be someone out there with an interest in this thing. So then, you've heard my sad little proposition. What do you say? You grasp the Beyonder Crystal and set it into the folds of your clothing. Set it into the folds of your forehead. Whack! Sandra senses this and makes a sound as though surprised. Thank you, reader. She is at a loss for a moment, then. Let us go, then, from this place. Go and face your last remaining adversaries. May you crush them under your heel and achieve the outcome which you seek. I believe you shall prevail. She disappears into the stone for now. It literally takes no effort. You just pick it up and go. Not doing that would just be fucking mean. Like, what the hell? Of course, the real meanness would be if you could immediately sell the crystal at the Slug Mart. Hey, guys. Guess you probably heard the big news, huh? Yeah, well, I'm going out of business here, I guess. Hadn't been the same, you know, with all the stars staying down and stuff. I want to say you guys are great, and I sure am gonna miss having you guys as customers and all that. But I got some good news, too. All my stuff, it's all on sale now, and I will throw a little extra there just for you, okay? So enjoy, and maybe I'll be seeing you guys around, okay? All Falcon Ron's goods are 5% off. Great. Thanks, Ron. I don't really need any of this stuff. Come back when you're gonna buy something. Is that orb hurt? No, that is the ball that like lets you banish people by throwing it into them. There's no new items in our inventory. She must be in like our plot pocket. Plot pocket. Very few stars remain above to light your way. The lone minstrel finds you clutching the Book of Rites, seeking there perhaps some bit of wisdom that has eluded you thus far. Reader, we may not have a chance to speak again after this. I may have to go. I wish to say I am grateful for having made your acquaintance, and I shall remember you with fondness. I wish you well this night and always. Go forth with glory. He looks up and extends his hand in friendship. You clasp it. You see, Joe Dariel has joined you. All of your companions are there with her, in fact. Reader, let us prevail here tonight. I have taken orders from many different leaders in my day. You should know you are a rarity among them. Oh, hey, miss? The others, they said they wanted me to join them and come talk to you, so here I am. The scribes are watching us. It is strange for me to say, given the circumstances of our meeting, reader, but it has truly been a pleasure. Onward now, let us achieve our plan. Reading one, thou art both wiser and less irritating than most others of thy kind. We have learned something from thee, and we are grateful. Yes. You look upon your fellow exiles, your companions with whom you have withstood the downside and with whom you shall conduct this final rite. Begging your pardon, but my time has come. We shall see each other soon. He departs. After this night, the outcome of Wolfert's plan, the plan which you have all been a part, shall be decided, one way or another. Oh, it gives you the current probability of success at a mouse over. 78%? That's better than 72%. For now, all you can do is strive to prevail against your final adversaries, so one last companion may go free. You rise to join your fellow exiles as the last remaining stars ignite. Alright. There are 2 stars that form no... Oh, no, I think one does.
Look, for one last time, upon the fall of Solium, dear reader. Hear me for one last time. For soon, the few remaining stars shall fade away, leaving you stranded there for your remaining days in that forsaken land where you deserve to be. The rabble that you roused here in the Commonwealth shall be put down. The exiles whom you liberated all shall fall in line.
You met some of those people?
Let us get on with this last liberation rite. You face none other than yourselves. Each so unlike the glorious Nightwings of yore. 'Tis a shame that one of you shall soon be free, for you deserve each other.
The pyres burn and each of the triumvirate is present and prepared. But before the lone menfolk can concur, as per the custom, not another word. The demon Orlex slowly raises his clawed fingers to his mask. The false Nightwings have arrived at last. Long have I awaited this. My freedom once was stolen from me, then I was cheated of it here upon this mountaintop. You may now attempt to take it from me once more. He stands there for a moment, silent, then Orlex dons his mask and stands prepared. May these damned rites cease forever for the misery they have caused. Nightwings, we shall not meet again after tonight. The cycle of the rites is all but ended. I would have your decision. On whose behalf shall you conduct this final liberation rite? The one whom you anoint, or else the exile or elect shall be returned. Godspeed, reader. You know what is at stake better than I. I have utmost faith in you to make the best decision and conduct this rite with glory. The star's remaining light grows dim. Your decision, please. Can I even nominate Volfred? The rest of you shall remain in the downside to the end of your days. One by one, you meet the gazes of each of your fellow exiles. Faye, Jadario, Gertrude, Wilfred. Your fellow exiles, your companions, your friends. Together you have come this far, but now the downside and the rights conspire to tear your group apart and disrupt your plan. Be prepared to choose one last time. Yep, gotta do it. With but a glance, you reassure your fellow exiles you know what to do.
One final opportunity for salvation. Too bad for the rest of you.
Roster update Oralek. Yeah. God, what a huge fucking aura. No, Volfred is not worthy. I think it's gonna be Faye.
Faye,
Me? I could finally go home? Not yet. I mean, I know I can't go yet, but if the scribes allow it, maybe soon? This final time? Your choice is cast. As for your other companions, you sense a clarity of thought and purpose in each of them. They stand ready to support Faye as well as you.
who shall be at her side? Jodariel.
Let us see to it that Faye returns, ere the turning of the cycle finally ends.
Gertrude.
Thy will is ours, reading one. Let the last remaining stars shed their last light upon our ceremony here.
The choice is cast.
Those are to be my adversaries, then. And who is it, I wonder, who asserts her will over that group? You sense Oralex searching for you, almost reaching out to you. You, the shadow of the false Nightwings. They are nothing to me but you. You, who would relinquish your own liberty for the sake of them? Strange. It is fitting, then, that I should have to face one such as you. Then Orlek stands at the ready, signaling for his two allies to do the same. By light of dawn, the cycle of the right shall cease. Let us see if we can finish this ordeal before that time. Yeah, let's see if we can get this done before dawn, folks. How much talking is there going to be? The sky above begins to shudder. The final liberation rite is about to commence. I guess we are going long. I didn't expect that. I thought we'd be done before, like, the 2-hour mark. Tariq! Aye, I am prepared, Celeste. Let our song this evening shake the stars themselves. Aye, Celeste, let us make sure of it.
Begin. The final chance at liberation for the age.
Ah! Ah! Damn, I was hoping I could pull that on him. First score! It's on the board. Almost jumped, didn't. And he strolls it in. The stereo effect is very good. Shoot. Did he just compliment me? The narrator just complimented me. I got so surprised by that, I think I fucking lost.
Banished from this place.
Ah. I hate that trick.
The orb slips from your clutches.
Shit.
A rather cunning trick.
The sky rains ash. Soon shall your pyre's own mingle with them. Just then the skies above begin to rain down fire. The final throw of the cycle of the rites of the ending of the age.
I say,
What?
how he has changed, that Warlick. Grown old and bitter lo these many years. Didn't see it coming. Well cast.
You know, I've been thinking about that moment when Volford spoke English.
Didn't see it coming.
And while it was a surprise, there's one thing that's very funny about it to me, which is that it kind of means that all of these songs whose lyrics are in English, like the one playing in the background right now, nobody can understand them in Game World, except for like the reader and Wolfred, and presumably any other readers. But for the teams, this is like being played on by Latin chanting or some shit.
Do you believe you can prevail in this? Glory to the scribes. Perhaps you are unworthy.
Perhaps I am unworthy. Maybe I'm gonna lose. That could happen. Yeah. So the false Nightwings bear their fangs at last. That cannot be your finest effort. You think you deserve your freedom more than I? Then fight for it, damn you! I'm trying! Orlick stands, breathing heavily. He looks back on the thin lick of flame that is his smoldering pyre before turning his attention back to your triumvirate. I think that may have been me saying, damn it. It's okay. I still have a lead. All of you shall rot here. You shall rot as I have all these many years. You false Nightwings who would deny me once again my rightful liberty. You who deny that liberty to all the triumphants you faith and vanquish under the guise of the tradition those blasted scribes. Come, let us continue with this glorious affair.
A devious maneuver.
Okay.
The orb.
Damn it.
Too bad.
Oh, that was a trap, wasn't it? Shit.
Tough luck, Nightwings. Alas.
Well,
Do it. Damn.
even the narrator is... Well, I'm not surprised anymore, I guess. No. Ah! I didn't get the jump off.
A second wind. There goes the orb.
I cannot believe I missed that. I can believe I missed that, because that sucks.
Begone, Bertrude. All three Nightwings. And there it is, at last.
Oh.
The true Nightwings proved their worth. The Nightwings fell just short of doing so. Thus ends the liberation rite. And thus, the scribes have chosen.
This must be what the scribes desire, so then it is what I also want, I think. Oralek appeared, his head bowed. For someone who has triumphed, you sense no pride in him. You posed a reasonable threat. You know what? I'll take it. In the end, I think what I had wrong was I should have kept Tizo and gone with, like, the float strategy. But I gave him a hell of a time, and I'm proud of it. Now farewell. You look upon Oralek for what you expect shall be the last time. Any moment now, the Shimmer Pool shall engulf him. Any moment now, he shall regain his freedom and return to a commonwealth he has not seen in half a lifetime. Any moment now, the cycle of the rites shall end, at least until the dawn of a new age. That's a lot of moments. Any moment now.
And thus, the scribes have chosen. And thus, the scribes have chosen. And thus, the scribes have chosen. No. Nightwings. Reader. What have you done?
I didn't break it! Nothing happens. Soon Oralek tenses up. Each prior time upon the fall of Solium, the Shimmer Pool is opened, following the Liberation Rite, and taken in whichever exile prevailed. But now all is still, and the light of the stars above has all but died. You sense a growing fear that it is already too late, that the Shimmer Pool shall not reveal itself again. Oralek laughs to himself. The 8 scribes saved their greatest treachery for last. Something else catches his notice. Wait. A sudden rush of starlight cascades through the stillness of the summit. The shimmer pool has appeared again, different somehow, but open. Oralek looks upon it, but it does not engulf him, or at least not yet. It seems I was mistaken, then. The 8 scribes, this is not their greatest treachery, it is their greatest jest. The shimmer pool is flung wide open. Seems that all are worthy now of freedom. The sensei approaches. By the scribes, so you mean we can all go home? Faye moves closer to the shimmer pool, but... Halt, Faye. It is a warning. Faye recognizes it as such and heeds it. The shimmer pool has lost most of its strength. You step inside and you shall surely perish in the current. Of that I can assure you. Oralek shakes his head. Then I am cheated once again. No. The shimmer pool is revealed and one of you may still return as planned. But Oralek, as the victory of this liberation rite that ends an age, the choice of who is to return is no longer decided, but is yours. Having to choose from those anointed ere the last light of the stars is extinguished, and the rites draw to an end, this is the final trial of the scribes. The final trial of the scribes. All that remains then is for me to choose myself, is that what you're saying? If that is to be your choice, then yes. Why would... How is this even a choice? What reason would I have, sir? Oralek, make your decision quickly, lest it be forfeit. I do not know for how much longer the light of the stars shall offer you this gift. Why do I hesitate? To have come this far? To have regained what ought already have been mine in all those years ago? Hello, you're here just in time for the very ending. Why now would I hesitate to claim my right? The final trial of the scribes. Let him work it out. Reach out to him. Manipulate him. I'm not gonna manipulate him. That's some bullshit. But... does he want any help with this? As Oralek struggles with the implication of the choice he has to make, you reach out to him, maintaining calm. Soon he becomes aware. You. Shadow of the false nightwings, I sense you lurking at the edges of my thoughts. Be gone. You venture to a place more desolate than the one you have been exiled. But you remain with him. Soon your thoughts are known to him as well. All this time, you stood by them. Clinging all the while to your faith that you yourself could be free someday? How foolish. And Vulfred, the remorse he expressed to me then, it was genuine? This plan of yours. Back when we stood together in the rites, it was our plan. Oralek seems to pull back from you and returns to his senses. My choice is made. Then please declare it. He turns to you. You there, shadow of the false nightwings. I would have you be gone from here back to the Commonwealth. Go, return and realize that plan. The Gate Guardian studies him, betraying no emotion. The freedom I have sought, my desire for it is unlikely to be sated in the Commonwealth, which cast all of us here. The Gate Guardian turns to you as well. Reader of the Nightwings, quickly, please, do you accept the burden and the outcome of this choice? He looks towards Faye, regards you with such warmth that no further exchange is needed. Your choice, reader. Nope. That's not how you play it. That's not the rules. The rules are that the winner of the rites goes free, and the rest of us remain here to serve our rightful sentence. Imagine if that choice were timed in the... Then it would be a Telltale game. You cannot accept something like this, or rather cannot face the thought of taking someone's freedom for yourself. The truly free would never abide such an exchange. The freedom to be gained here belongs to Oralek. He prevailed in the final liberation rite. Oralek says nothing for a time, then... I see. Then very well, I understand your point of view. Thus I choose my freedom. He has sensed his mind is set, and in this same instant it feels to you as though he is set free. Then it is done. Oralek stands very still, although his features seem to soften just a little, and then... he is gone. He won twice. He deserves twice the fucking freedom.
Godspeed, Oralek. By the scribes. No stars remain aloft. The cycle of the rites. It is finished. The Commonwealth. What shall become of it? What shall become of us? Nightwings. The opportunity to gain your freedom from the downside. Was it not enough?
That night, the exile Oralek returned to the Commonwealth. He was to be the last. The stars had faded, and the cycle of the rites had run its course. He found the Commonwealth in a state of unrest. Spurred by the efforts of 5 liberated exiles, Volfred Sandalwood's revolutionary plan had incited the masses. These exiles in the starless sky pretended the return of the scribes. The rulers of the Commonwealth pushed back. Fighting broke out in the streets in spite of Sandalwood's intentions. It was then the winged Highwing remnants chose to strike. Allegations that the Highwing remnants were in league with Sandalwood were never proven. However, there was no denying the result of the two-pronged attack. After enduring for almost a millennium, the Commonwealth had fallen. The new Saurian Union declared its sovereignty in the next year. Among the changes its elected people ushered in, they vowed never to cast their people into exile, and they abandoned the old Commonwealth decree forbidding literacy. Today, we still remember all of this. And we remember the exiles of the downside, whose deeds led to the dawning of our age. Whether they returned or not. Yeah, I am all emotional, my voice is crackly. Oh! Okay! Yeah, how is everybody doing? The Incognito was the... I can't believe... Okay, epilogue time. The Incognito was the first of his kind to achieve liberty through the rites. While he was not the only imp trained in the ways of the scribes, imps are native to the downside and thus care not for traveling abroad. This makes him useful to triumvirates. Yet Tizo had a different calling, and the Nightwings believed that he too could play a key role in Volfred Sandalwood's plan. During the night of Scribe's return, he stood out to the populace as something of a miracle. They had only heard of downside imps before, from legends of Hob the Swallow. Afterward, he became something of an icon, representing both the fall of the Commonwealth and the beginning of a new era. Volfred Sandalwood would sometimes send him little gifts all the way from the downside. Despite the insurmountable difference between them, their friendship proved more than resilient. Tizo often missed his interactions with the reader of the Nightwings. They had quickly built quite a rapport back in the downside. He and Oralek reconciled as well. Oralek offered him free room and board. And that was that. Tizo liked riding on his shoulders. Kizo would often express wistful gratitude for all his time conducting the rites alongside the Nightwings, who made such sacrifices for him. Other than that, Kizo was diligent about his role as something of a living artifact, and helped interpret for the messenger imps that relayed news to and from the downside. Despite having gained significant celebrity, he never let it go to his head. Although he did take full advantage of his access to the Zaharan Union's fishing industry. Oh, they're each gonna vanish as we read them. Alright, what about you? After the final liberation rite, Lendo refused to believe the rites had truly ended. He would sit through night after consecutive nights, staring into the blackness of the sky, awaiting any kind of sign he might gain another chance at freedom. No such sign ever came. His fellow accusers started to express concern for him. Survival had become their top priority once liberty slipped from their grasp. But Lendl dismissed them as weak fools. He insisted rather forcefully that any evening now the stars would shine for him again and mark the way towards his inevitable freedom. He was, of course, mistaken. The others in his triumvirate were left with little choice but to abandon him. After that, the exile known as Lendl the Liar was never seen again. However, there have since been sightings of a bedraggled demon who wanders the downside and bears Lendl's cruel countenance, suggesting he yet lives. Maybe. After his liberation, Hedwyn was instrumental in the events leading to the fall of the Commonwealth and was vital to the outcome of the plan. He was the one who led the raid on the stronghold where Archjustice Andromulus IX was holed up when the fighting grew fierce. With him, then and thereafter, was one of the winged harps of the High-Wing remnants, later identified as Fikani Shang. Their bond was vital to the peace that followed. In times of difficulty, he would often ask himself what his old friend Jodario would have done in his place. Though they were separated by great distance now, they thought of each other often, and maintained their friendship through relatively frequent correspondence via messenger imp. Hedwyn would often think back about the vow he made at the beginning of his quest for freedom. Although he cherished all the friendships he made, he had fled, He had broken that vow, for in the end, not all of them were to return. A terrible guilt over this darkened his mood for a time. However, the others whom he still knew lifted his spirits, much like he had quite often lifted theirs. All the Nightwings knew the mistakes. While the others who stood with the Nightwings were not all able to remain in contact thus, Hedwyn thought of each of them often, and so in turn did they all think of him. What happened with all his life? Sir Deluge had fled from one danger only to find himself facing another. He had escaped the war-torn waters of the Sea Dominion, he had escaped the blood border of the Commonwealth, and now he escaped the Rites. After the Rites had ended, many exiles wrapped up in the ancient test were crestfallen, as their last chance to return to their homes vanished along with the stars above. But Deluge did not mind, for this outcome meant that at last, there was no burden of responsibility weighing down on him. While most of his fellow exiles of the Pyre Hearts yet longed for the waters of the Sea Dominion, driven as ever by their impulse toward combat, Deluge settled down. With him remained one of his companions, one Lady Seagrass, who had taken a liking to him for some reason. Reportedly, they disappeared into the waters of Worm Gulf, which may begin to explain the significant increase in worm population observed in the vicinity. Oh, he fucking. Okay, he fucking. Good for him. After the cycle of the Rites ceased turning, records of what happened to the Black Wagon of the Nightwings became inconclusive and contradictory. Some accounts suggest the exiles of the Nightwings, who remained in the downside, continued to make use of the Black Wagon as their place of shelter and their means of travel. However, there is no record of what happened to the wagon's contents, such as the Book of Rites or the Beyonder Crystal, said to be haunted by the apparition Sandra the Unseeing. One possibility is that when the lone minstrel took his leave, he took the Beyonder Crystal with him, for he was thus obliged. By this line of reasoning, however, the Black Wagon itself should have been taken also. Others remain skeptical the Beyonder Crystal even existed, or rather that the visions that it granted were anything other than the results of an active imagination or a fever dream. The bog dwellers of the southern bogs offer still another explanation, for they are familiar with binding enchantments. If there existed such an object in which the Sisters of the Ark had been expelled for more than 800 years, then the enchantment could have inspired with the light of the stars. What this would have meant for Sandra and the Beyonders is difficult to say for certain, other than it may have meant they were finally released. Nevertheless, the fates of Sandra and the Beyonder Crystal remain unknown. Did I mess up with her somehow? Yet those exiles in the Night Wings who claim to have seen this apparition all spoke of her with degrees of reverence and perhaps a little fear. Can you believe this, reader, honestly? Sandra has appeared before you, as well you can see. They are so far from the mark with all this nonsense, I am wont to laugh. In fact, here goes. She laughs. Okay. She is referring to the account of her. You sense she does not care for it. Well, let them gossip all they like. I merely wish they would mention you, at least in passing, when next they're at it. Well, they'll never know even the half of it, shall they? Okay. History is written by the people who write history books, and they don't know shit about this. Make light of the situation. Alright, humor her. You indicate to Sandra that the real truth of what happened between you would perhaps make too less lascivious a tale to be told in such a format. She makes a bemused sound at this. Perhaps that story ought to get out then. Think they would go to all the trouble to make literacy accepted once again, only to print such drivel. Anyway, let us keep going, lovely reader. We know the truth of it. That is what matters. She fades into the undercrystal and you tuck it away, safe. I love that. She just pops out, makes a smart-ass comment. As the cycle of the rites drew to a close, it grew evident that a chance of freedom from the downside had forever slipped from Dalbert and Almer Oldheart's grasp. Thus, they and the exiles of the Fate returned to Jomer Valley. There they struggled to get by, as exiles of the downside tend to do. Sometime after the rites had ended, the Oldhearts at last heard the news that the Commonwealth had fallen. This was well after the fact, of course, but it brought old Dalbert great joy. Despite his forthright manner, he had no love for the nation that cast him down along with his son. Dalbert Oldheart passed peacefully in his sleep before the next new moon. In his final days, he implored his son to take a pilgrimage to the scribes. Almer never shared his father's view of the scribes or respected Dalbert's wishes. So after a period of mourning, Almer began a new journey. One day during his travels, he ran almost headlong into another exile after paying homage at the Spring of Jomer. He was stunned to find this was none other than the one he knew as Faye, from their days as adversaries in the Rites. Faye was overjoyed to see him, though Almer was unable to bring himself to understand why. Eventually, of course, he did, and they remained together, growing ever more accustomed to their new lives on the downside. Huh. Okay. That's not a subplot I saw much of. Not a day went by that Almer Oldheart did not think about his father and give thanks to him and speak to him at morning and at night. Would that the stars yet shone, for surely Dalbert's would be there among them. Smiling down at his son and watching over him and his kin. And his kin, so hey, they too fucking. And I think that means that this will not be a surprise. Long after the rites had ended, Faye admitted she knew very well before the fact she would not be going home again. At least she had a very strong feeling. She ended up not minding very much because she had little to return in the Commonwealth. Her sense of home had changed. She took to wandering from one celestial landmark to the next, ever paying homage to the 8 scribes, who she believed had influenced all that transpired. She was no stranger to traveling alone, but was always happy to have company. Through it all, she wondered how her little friend Tizo had fared. While they were divided now by a great distance, he always reigned in her heart. She cited her relationship with Jodariel as the single most important in her life. Jodariel will always provide for her a circumspect perspective and the wisdom of experience. Whenever she felt genuine doubt, which was not very often, she sought out the reader of the Night Wings. If there was anyone whom she trusted as much as the scribes, it was her. One day she encountered one of her former adversaries, one called Almer Oldheart, who had served the Fate. She remembered him much more than he did her, though only just at first. Their shared experience in the Rites and their different points of view about the scribes formed the basis of what grew to be a long-lasting relationship. Faye always was devoted to her faith, and more so to her friends. Her gentle manner and unwavering conviction helped them brave life on the downside, both with courage and grace. Marker Ashpaws never had much interest in returning to the Commonwealth, for he always found its bylaws to be stifling. So when the rites ended, he did not care at first. He soon grew very bored. The rites had given his life a certain sense of structure he had always needed. He missed the raw anticipation of it all. He decided to continue conducting the rites for the thrill of it. He bent some of the rules and replaced some of the objects, but it was close enough. His packmates, the dissidents, were proved more than happy to participate, and thus they ran against each other back in Jomer Valley. Gradually, other exiles familiar with the rites, as well as those who had not heard of it at all, started to take an interest. They ended up giving Barker Ashpaw some healthy competition. His old feud with Rookie Greentail ceased meaning anything to him, and he forgot all about it amid his new pursuits. Ultimately, even Barker Ashpaws, who had led such a directionless existence at that point, had something of a calling through the rites. Whether he took the rites less seriously than any other exile of his time or more was oft debated by those who watched him work. They invented non-mystical basketball. There ain't no rule that says a dog can't invent basketball. When the worm Gilman returned to the Commonwealth, he believed he had regained something even more important than his freedom, his honor. Gilman relinquished his knighthood and declined an opportunity to serve as captain on the Blood Border. He was not interested in fighting any longer. Yet, as is sometimes the case with those such as he, a circumstance soon came about in which there came a need for him to once again make use of his military training. He fought that night of the scribe's return. He fought with all his might, he faced other worm knights, and he cared only for the cause. When the matter was put to rest, Gilman truly knew his time as a knight had ended. He declared to all those in earshot that he would never fight again, and that's probably a pretty big earshot, given Gilman. Unless, of course, there arose some other extraordinary set of circumstance, again requiring him to fight, but he certainly hoped not. He still trained regularly, just in case, especially with fleet-footed friend Rookie Greentail, who was always grateful for having studied under the Reader of the Nightwings, without whom he never would have completed his penance. Because of this, and perhaps because they were on opposite sides of the world now, Gilman dedicated his life to her. By that point, he had long forgotten about his days under the leadership of Sir Deluge, his former commander. Breaking free of his abusive leadership was his first step toward gaining a bit of self-respect. Gilman never did return to his homeland of the Sea Dominion and was content to lead a monastic life in a small residence in the hills. It was just high up enough to make him keep striving to conquer his fear of heights. Other than that, an intense daily training regimen and the occasional visit from an old companion was more than enough to keep him optimistic and engaged. He knew by then that honor was not something to be won, but a contract with oneself to be renewed each day. Oh, I said that a while back. Huh. I said something like that. I have never... If I had seen any of these endings ahead of time, I would not be in tears right now. After the cycle of the rites had ceased, Witch Ilnode returned to the Flagging Hands region, where she sealed herself within the Pit of Milthe. There, even her fellow exiles had withdrawn, allegedly grew unnerved after a time, and left her to her vile work. Sometime later, the Pit of Milthe erupted into flame. So intense was the conflagration it could be seen all the way from Jomer Valley. Arson was suspected, although the cause was never verified, and many bog dwellers in the region were forced to flee. A tempest blowing from the north finally quenched the flames. When at last the ashes settled and the grounds had cooled, the site of the fire was scarred beyond recognition. No trace of Witch Ilnode could be found. As for the contents of the Pit of Milthe, which normally included a profane object thought to be the remains of Slatch, all of it was gone as well. Back in the Sarayan Union, Ilnode's repeated threats of the return of Slatch were thoroughly investigated, and no credence was found to any of her claims. After Rookie Greentail earned back his freedom, he returned to a lavish welcome ceremony in the Commonwealth, as was a tendency for liberated exiles. It was everything he could have hoped for, and soon he was well off, surrounded by luxury, and choosing between various exciting opportunities. However, he must have given in to his better judgment, as he did end up siding with Wolfred Sandalwood's revolutionary forces, as he promised. On the night of Scribe's return, Greentail kept busy barking orders to Wolfred's agents as the situation grew tenser. He took rather well to leadership. When dawn finally came, and it became clear the Commonwealth that everybody knew would be no more, he realized many new opportunities awaited. He began quite a lucrative career for himself, manufacturing and selling replica merchandise inspired by the downside. His main struggle was to meet demand. An aspect of his consciousness cautioned him against making light of such a thing, but the money was too good and soon his family was as well off as he always said. One of his orders of business was to seek out one of his old companions, Tamitha Thane, whom he took a liking during their quest for freedom. They bonded further over love of drink, and supported one another through uncertain times that lay in store. He also kept in close touch with Gilman, ever the perfect practice partner. They would train together often, taking care to stay in tip-top shape as much as possible throughout the years. Greentail always did his best to keep in touch with all his many friends and knew he owed his fortunes to them. He made a special point of staying close with the group of friends he came to know so well during the time of the Night Wings, wherever they were. They shared a special understanding that put even Greentail at a loss for words sometimes. Alright, what the fuck is Manly up to? When Manly Tinderstoff realized the rites had ended and he no longer could return to the Commonwealth through this ancient means, he was outraged. He cursed the scribes, spewing forth such a slew of blasphemy as to be very unbecoming of one of his high status and bearing. When at last he calmed himself, he focused all his energies on attempting to find another means of homecoming. He maintained regular contact with his wealthy family on the other side via messenger imp, and used their vast resources to explore other means of escape. He tried using an elaborate pulley system, he attempted to retrofit a flying black wagon with superior propulsion, he tried an imp raft, a hot air balloon, even prayer. Nothing worked. There was only one way to escape the downside, and now it was gone. I want to see Manly, like, trying to fly out of here in a fucking rocket wagon. Tinderstoff bankrupted his family in these vain attempts. At last, such was his shame that he retreated to the teeming woods of Black Basin, Cinderroot. There he yet wallows, complaining to his comrades of the chastity who still put up with him, either about his own misfortune or the latest news from the other side. He never fucking got over himself. Never once did he come close to getting over himself. Manly, you fucking suck. After the rites had ceased, Yodariel journeyed back to Downside Prairie, where she helped restore Hollow Root to livable condition. She became well known and sometimes feared throughout the land, and many exiles sought her out for aid with various matters. She refused most such jobs, except the ones she believed to be just. Throughout this all, she often thought of Headwind. Though they remained separated by an impossible expanse, they managed to maintain some correspondence via messenger imp, and always remained friends. She kept an eye on Faye, who nevertheless demonstrated a surprising knack to get by on her own, though Jariel was always willing to provide assistance, just in case. Sometime later, she ran into Ignarius, wandering alone. The two of them grew close and soon took residence together. Who among them was the fiercer was a common subject of debate. Between scholars or between them? She continued training on her own, a regimen that grew stricter with each passing year. There were those who sought to train with her, and she sometimes obliged. There remained one other constant in her life. She would always remember her days among the Nightwings, and with fondness for the most part. I think that answers what he's up to. Once it became clear to Ignarius the rites were drawing to a close, he knew it was time for him and the Templars to call it quits. First, he and the Templars decided to celebrate, and that they did for many, many nights. The revelry did eventually subside. The exiles parted amicably and went their separate ways. He roamed the downside then, searching for some meaning in his life, sometimes taking odd jobs requiring his brute strength. One day he ran into Jodariel, and without the pressure of the rites, they hit it off that time. She denied ever enjoying his company, yet they never left each other's side. Though his glory days as the most powerful conductor of the rites had long since passed, he always enjoyed the fearsome reputation he cultivated at that time. After regaining her freedom, Tamitha Thane found herself in a difficult position. Having once betrayed her people of the Highway Remnants, she knew she would not be welcome in her native home. She did not trust the Commonwealth either. Instead, she found her place among Volfred Sandalwood's agents who were busy doing their part to fulfill the plan. The plan took certain unexpected turns, but in the end resulted in the outcome Sandalwood had envisioned. It was fortunate the Highway Remnants arrived when they did on the night of Scribe's return, although Tamitha denied any involvement with or foreknowledge of this. Afterward, Tamitha played an active part in negotiating terms between the Highway Remnants and the new nation that would become our Saharian Union. Her previous attempt at something of the sort led to her exile. She must have felt some satisfaction to succeed this time around. Sometime later, Tamitha had an unexpected run-in with Rookie Greentail, with whom she had spent a fair amount of time when traveling with the Nightwings. Under these new circumstances, it turned out the two had more to talk about and rather more in common. They would often put to the test which one was able to outdrink the other. It is unclear as to which one of them prevailed in that contest in the end. One day, Pamitha received an invitation to return to the Highwing Remnants, where she was to be fully pardoned. That was where she ran into her blood sister Tamitha for the first time since their exile. I've been waiting for this. What happens? Their reunion was not as amicable as Pamitha might have hoped, and Tamitha, still resentful of their history together, turned violent. Tamitha would later brush aside the incident, although she always had an injury to show for it. Yet, from that point onward, the Blood Sisters were back on speaking terms, at least for the most part. Later, when asked, Tamitha admitted she felt she had no home to call her own. This was during an interview conducted amid an extensive trip abroad, where she had traveled thousands of leagues beyond the bounds of the Saharan Union. Tamitha continued to journey thus, citing it reminded her of when she was younger and could fly unfettered. No home, but she became a citizen of the world, as such. Good. She rejoined her sisters of the Highwing Remnants. The Commonwealth believed that someone such as she could be rehabilitated through years spent in exile. Instead, her hatred for her ancient enemies only intensified. While not its strides returned, the Highwing Remnants were poised to strike the Commonwealth in a decisive blow. They had received credible intelligence about the expected position of the Commonwealth leadership, and of specific weaknesses in the bloodborne defenses anticipated that night. Yeah, who could possibly? After a surgical procedure, Tamitha could fly again, almost as well prior to her exile. She insisted on spearheading the attack with a squadron of the Harp's finest. They descended on their foes exactly as planned. The chaos that had arisen in the streets of the Commonwealth that night made for an optimal diversion. Nonetheless, the battle took its toll. Many of Tamitha's sisters fell. She herself sustained many grievous wounds, but ignored them all and fought with a terrible fury. By dawn, the leaders of the Commonwealth had been eliminated, and Tamitha was limping back toward the mountain. She would never fly again. Soon after the fall of the Commonwealth, Tamitha attended a debriefing in which her blood sister, Pamitha, was also in attendance. Tamitha was very skeptical that Pamitha could have played a beneficial role in the preceding events and lashed out at her. Pamitha made no attempt to elude the attack and was struck full on. This cost Pamitha the use of her right wing. Yet after she recovered, she shrugged the incident off and said maybe they would call it even now. From that point on, the Blood Sisters kept a formal distance, but were cordial with each other. After the rise of the Saharan Union, Tamitha Faye continued to serve as flight tactician, and remained respected and feared even among her kind. Without a war to wage, she grew more distant even than usual. Those closest to her surmised that her inability to reconcile with her blood sister was at the heart of this, though for her part, Tamitha never once admitted any such weakness. So they were cordial, but okay, I guess they never really... This one's a little awkwardly written. Not that many left now. Several exiles of the Nightwing cared more for the plan of Sandalwood than to return home from the downside. The Crone God Big Bertrude was a prime example. She had found a suitable environment to live within the dismal region known as Flagging Hands. There she built up a thriving place of business known to many exiles in the land. With the rites having ended, she returned to her preoccupations, working away almost as though nothing had happened. When one gets to be more than 400 years of age, perhaps then even monumental events, such as the accumulation of the rights or the collapse of the Commonwealth, are seen as trifling matters. Much of her effort was doubtless due to the influence of Sandalwood, someone whom she admired now for decades. He had made clear that he could not requite her feelings for him. What could have been a hurtful dismissal only led to a deeper understanding between them. By and large, Bertrude kept focus on her work. Whether casting small enchantments or imbuing talismans, the work brought her a sense of purpose, she would say. In the Commonwealth, such services were strictly forbidden. But on the downside, there was a real need for simple luxuries, which the competing slug market could not always provide. Thus did Big Bertrude continue to live up to her name, and the tales of her days of the Nightwings made her that much more a living legend. In the aftermath of the final liberation rite, Oralek at last returned to his nation, one he had not seen in nearly 2 decades. He scarce recognized it. After all, it was in the middle of a transformation, a social and cultural upheaval sparked by Volfred Sandalwood's plan. When Oralek witnessed the people of the Commonwealth Gathered in solidarity under the black sky there on the night of Scribe's return, he looked on in silence for a time. Then the high-wing remnants descended, and a panic quickly spread among those gathered. A pitched battle erupted in the streets. It was chaos. Orlok observed all this and took a step toward the fray. He knelt beside the closest injured man to him. He staunched the man's bleeding and set an injured leg, then pulled him to a safer corner of the street. Orlok's old abilities as a physician had not left him during all his years. Thus did he aid as many as he could throughout the night until the danger passed. You always need a medic. History would know him as the Demon Doctor, a term of endearment that stuck, even after his horn started to recede. He lent his skill and service through the birth of the Saharan Union. I never mouthed over that. Yeah, our nation. The one he had called the Shadow of the False Nightwings was someone he thought of often. He knew he owed his freedom to her, having witnessed the aftermath of Sandalwood's plan. Orlok understood at last what his former companion wanted. Years ago, they conceived a version of this plan. Now Orlok found he wished Sandalwood could be present to witness the reality of it. Orlok later reunited with Tiza, who took residence with him. In some ways similar to how they lived in olden times, the imp always enjoyed his company. Alone with his thoughts, Orlok would sometimes visit the memorial to the fallen leaders of the Commonwealth. Though, other than such appearances, and notwithstanding his duties as master physician of the state, Orlok led a very private life. Few would have guessed he was once one of the most accomplished rites conductors in the history of the Nightwings. History, of course, shall ensure we shall not forget. With the rites drawn to a close, the slug market's revenues fell precipitously, and Falcon Ron was forced to liquidate his assets and close up shop. Yet, as is sometimes the case with those of an entrepreneurial leading, this time of hardship led to an epiphany, or at least a sudden change of fortune. One day, Falcon Ron had a run-in with a messenger imp bearing news from the other side. Ron gave to it one of his remaining trinkets which could not be sold. The following week, the messenger imp returned to him bearing a tidy sum of wealth and newly minted coinage from the Saharan Union. Falcon Ron cut a long-term deal with that messenger imp then and there. Of course he did. Though his trade remained a gray area from a legal standpoint in the Saharan Union, the newfound fame of the downside caused Falcon Ron's good to explode in popularity. He later signed an elaborate agreement with Big Bertrudes and found a distribution partner on the other side through Rookie Greentail, whose own business had expanded. Especially in the Saharan Union, Falcon Ron's goods are still known for their superior quality, though he assumes no liability for any side effects. Hey, good! Nice job, Ron. When the cycle of the rite ceased turning, Volfred Sandalwood turned toward the starless sky and closed his eyes and prayed. It was all he could do at that stage of the plan. He aspired to assemble with liberated exiles representing each of the 8 largest ethnic groups comprising the population of the Commonwealth. They would stand together as a vision of the 8 scribes returned, inspiring the masses to embrace an older set of values from before the Commonwealth had tightened its grip. With the rites ending sooner than expected, this ideal scenario became impossible. Sandalwood's own freedom, for instance, was now forfeit, yet the plan did have contingencies. Word reached him that on the night of Scribe's return, several of his fellow liberated Nightwings stood together and their voices echoed through the streets. It was vital to Sandalwood that this stand against the Commonwealth be peaceful in its nature, but this proved to be untenable, especially after the High-Wing remnants appeared. There was speculation that their well-timed assault may not have happened by coincidence, although Sandalwood denied any involvement and regretted the bloodshed. Nevertheless, the main thrust of the plan had been achieved. Yeah, it wasn't a bloodless revolution. It could have been a bloodless revolution, but it wasn't. I wonder if Orlok's epilogue is better, if it is. Sandalwood kept busy after that as much as possible, providing console from afar to those who would be at the forefront of the birth of the Saharan Union. Sarian Union. Sarian, whatever. Of course, being stranded in the downside meant there was only so much he could do. Resting assured the future of the nation was in capable hands, he turned his attention to the remaining exiles of the downside. They might never return to their new nation, but at least they could experience its triumphs and its struggles in some vicarious way, so he took to his own work, writing and printing. As literacy began to spread again through the Sarian Union, so too did exiles of the downside take to it. For his part, Sandalwood helped to teach as many as he could. More than that, he provided the material to read, a semi-annual report about the latest events, both in the Saurian Union and the Downside. So not only does he teach our nation's children to read, he is a newspaper man. This periodical gave many exiles something to look forward to. He welcomed the company of the reader of the Nightwings at every opportunity, and considered her a trusted friend and a keen editor. He was pleased to hear his one-time friend Oralek had once more become a productive part of his society, yet he spoke little of their time together. As Volfred Sandalwood gained more fame throughout the land for all his sacrifice and his contribution, it is said he remained steadfast about two things. The first was that the cause itself ought to remain in focus. The freedom the people had achieved, it was a gift to be cherished, and a set of values that needed to be justice. The second point he made was that he himself had little to do with the outcome. But often praised the exiles of the Nightwings who had stood with him, each in turn by name. He never forgot any of them. One day, to commemorate his birthday, the people of the Saurian Union unveiled a monument depicting him and the Nightwings as imagined in their prime. While Sandalwood did not learn of it until much later, it is said he was moved to tears then by the gesture. It has since ensured that those of us with memories more fallible than of Sandalwood likewise remember the achievements of his fellow former exiles and our cause. After the cycle of the rites ceased turning, the lone minstrel bade the remaining Nightwings take the Black Wagon and seek their fortunes elsewhere on the Downside. Their parting was heartfelt but brief. He remained there, at the summit with Mount Elodial with Celeste, where the two of them would chronicle the final outcome of the cycle. Neither Tariq nor Celeste were ever seen again. We know all this now through song attributed to them. Some claim these songs originated in the taverns of the Saurian Union and merely were imbued with weight of folklore. However, exiles liberated from the Downside collaborated each other's claims in having met the duo that presided over the liberation rites. Another folktale suggests these minstrels were heralds of the scribes. Having fulfilled their obligations, they departed the world we know and rejoined their patrons. One of their famous songs describes another simpler outcome. The two gave up their duties to the rites in favor of a life they could share together. In any case, they are likely to remain the subject of such verses and songs, for it was they who watched over the rites and ushered in our times. There is one more account which warrants mention. The Nightwings conducted the rites under the guidance of a reader. Little is known of her. However, some accounts of her begin to paint a picture. We know she was of common birth, weak-framed, though raised with a penchant for learning. The journey to the Downside left her close to death. It was then the Nightwings found her. They brought her from the brink, she showed them the path. She pressed onward with the others. She did not know how far their path would lead. Thus did the cycle of the rites commence its final turns. When the final rite arrived, the reader's freedom was at stake. In the end, however, she remained in exile. From that point on, accounts of her diverge. It is said the voice which troubled her she never heard again. Some say she sailed across the Sea of Solace. Though, whether that is true, only she knows. Someday, perhaps, the reader's own star shall emerge. Then it shall pierce the dark of night in all its brilliant glory. Until such time and ever after, all of us give thanks.
Their journey began on a
That was Pyre.
barren waste where the reader arrived, afraid and alone. When she arrived, the book of rites awakened the Nightwings and ignited the flame. They of the last of the night wings who, having broken the cycle, shall live on in song. Headwind prevailed and strode the path that his heart laid before him. He has found his way home.
Captain Joe Dariel, keeping watch over all of the night wings. She remained to the end.
Rookie Greentail has proved his worth and returned to his family by the grace of the scribe.
Adaptive lyrics for the ending.
They follow the stars, bound together, strands in a braid till the end.
The moon-touched girl feels the scribes in the heart of the downside. She remained to the end.
Tizo prevailed, first of his lowly kind, to ascend from the downside. He has found a new home. Sir Gilman the Bold, ever in his quest, finding honor and glory, he has found his way home. Pamith the Thane, having pleased the scribe, seeking only forgiveness, she has found her way home. They follow the stars, bound together, strands in a braid till the end. Bound together, spirits tender, strands unbroken, scribes awoken.
The great mastermind, Wolfred Sandalwood, saw his plans turn to action. He remained till the end. The bog dweller Bertrude kept their foes at bay with her finest enchantments. She remained till the end. The reader at last made the night wings whole, having bound them together. She remained till the end. They follow the stars, bound together, strands in a braid till the end. They follow the stars, bound together, strands in a braid till the end. Now at the end, as we bid farewell and return to the stars, we shall find our way home. We shall find our way home.
Well, the moment I realized there were adaptive fucking lyrics to the ending theme song, I knew I couldn't say a word. And we end on a shot of an intact library as opposed to a burning one. Wow. Good game. Uh, really good game. True Nightwing campaign mode unlocked. Yeah, you unlock a much more difficult campaign mode, which I think, I don't think it changes the story at all. I'll look it up. But, wow. So tomorrow, obviously, I'm gonna have to figure out, what I'm gonna play. I don't know. I'll figure something out. Until then, may you find your way home. Good night, everybody. Yeah, that was a hell of a thing. That did not, maybe it did not get as many viewers as Final Fantasy VI or whatever, but, like, eh. I don't really do this for the viewers. I did it because I have always wanted to play through this game, and now I have, and I feel good about that. So, doesn't look like anybody I care to raid. I wish you well. Good night, everybody. And on that note...